We are back. It is another Friday.
TGIF, we are here.
It's been one of those weeks, too. It is a TGIF week. I am all for that.
Yes, I would agree that it has been one of those weeks that you really kind of want to forget.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't say when we talked a few minutes ago, you're like, oh, this week's it's fine. I'm doing fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine, Tom.
The house is on fire, but it's fine. It's okay.
This is all fine. Yeah.
So I got a couple questions for people as you guys tune in here. We only have a 10-second intro, and AI told us that, well, everybody clicks out on the intro because your intro is too long. We had a 10-minute wait time that helped us get set up, get the microphones all kind of put into position, do some audio checks and all that, make sure the stream was actually working. And we took it down to 10 seconds, so we don't really have a lot of prep time. We have to prep before that. So if you guys are okay with the longer intro, tell us.
Or if you prefer the 10 seconds, tell us that too.
Yeah, tell us how to make you rich in 10 seconds or less.
There you go.
Not how it works. But we have some things to talk about. Apparently we're at war. Well, nobody saw that coming.
Kind of at war.
It's more like we're bombing people.
We are bombing people. Mainly Iran, but yeah.
So the war, we were going to talk about automotive stocks today. I wanted to talk about like which companies would be good ones to buy. But with the war happening, that's going to affect oil prices. So I want to also take a look at today some of the oil stocks. Like we have Chevron and ExxonMobil in our portfolio, and I've been told that they're going up a lot. So maybe that's a good thing for us. I don't like it when a stock goes up beyond the book value or the PE ratio or any of the other things that we talked about in the channel. I typically like it when it goes up based on actual earnings. A lot of the fluctuations that happen from day to day have nothing to do with the business fundamentally. A lot of it's speculation. So we had the Dow, because of the war, we had it tumbling almost 800 points. This was yesterday. And we took the guy's picture because I thought it was beautiful. The look on that guy's face. He's not having a good day. And that's a legitimate today sucks face.
I'm sure there's some sort of copyright there, but whatever.
It's just some guy on the floor in the New York Stock Exchange. Who know that like people actually went to the floor now, but he's there. So yeah, we made that our thumbnail because I thought it was beautiful. Because when you look at our portfolio, we don't care. I mean, it doesn't really affect us. In fact, if we look at our investment income, I don't buy this time. This time it says we got another pay raise, went from 331 to 333, and that's good. I mean, it's good that it went up, but a lot of times it'll go up and down based on the month that you're in. So if you happen to hit the 12-month cycle where you got two very large dividend checks in a row, then it makes it look like it's more than it actually is. So I'm going to say that we're at about 330, but it looks like we made another couple dollars per month. So market's crashing. We're not, I'm not really that worried about it, which is great if you're trying to build a portfolio based on passive income or the ability to be resilient in the effect of like bad economy, job loss, something else goes on. This is how you do that. So they're talking about like this is Dow tumbling nearly 800 points with the surging oil prices raising fears about the economic toll of Iran conflict. And Brian, you wanted to talk about the DHS secretary too. You want to do that later or now?
Well, it is news, right? So it's when I go out and I look at a bunch of stuff, I like to keep up on what's going on in all forms of government and commerce, just to see what's going on. Does this really affect anything? I don't know if this will, as far as stocks are concerned, but it was interesting. And one thing that I noticed on all of the, whether it's the Washington Post, the New York Times, or Fox News, NBC, all of it says the same thing. Trump fires DHS Secretary Christina. And sure, she's not in that position, but what they do eventually mention is that she's just being repositioned to the special envoy of, and was it Shield of Americas? So she's getting a new position.
She works for Marvel.
Yeah, Shield,
What? She's an Avenger?
Shield of the Americas. So she's basically going to go out and attack the cartels and try and stop fentanyl and other drugs to come into the country. So that's kind of her new role.
Did
Why is he doing that? Because, well, she's made some missteps over the last few months. So it's probably warranted. But my point is that media likes to be misleading. And I think that is a misleading post from these media outlets.
what I'm looking for in this Washington Post article, there was something here that I guess I heard that there was some contract that they put out and there was a $200 million price tag attached. Yeah, right here.
Yep.
Let me see what this says. So this says Noam's testimony at the Senate Committee
It's the,
Oversight. Oh,
it's
you
the
want to read
ad
it?
campaign. Yeah, go ahead. Read it. It was the ad campaign that they're grilling her over. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at the Senate Committee Oversight hearing this week, also rankled Trump. Is that a word? Rankled?
Rankled is the word.
That's a word. I'm going to use that word now. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to use it because it sounds fun.
You're going to have to look it up now.
So he was displeased with her defense of a $200 million ad campaign that featured Noam and her assertion that Trump had signed off on the campaign. What? The people said. Wall Street Journal first reported Trump's frustrations with Noam. So basically, she tied his name to something that he didn't want to be part of.
Right.
So, wow. You hear about this stuff. And I guess the guy that they're putting in her place, somebody told me that his first event in Congress was like taking off his coat and saying, "You want to fight?" Like he wanted to fight somebody in Congress, and Bernie Sanders like, "No, sit down, stop acting like a child." Bernie Sanders, the guy who constantly acts like a child, is telling somebody else not to act like a child. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? So the corruption, it's there. It's definitely there. I don't think.
Yeah. Is this corruption? Maybe. It was misappropriation of funds. Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Can you imagine the amount of people like who have gotten into Congress just for a minute that started with under $1 million of net worth, and by the time they get
AOC.
out, they're worth like millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Like these people have tons of money, and where does it come from? I don't know. And
I don't know.
it's like the Republicans call it, the Democrats for it, the Democrats call it, the Republicans for it. They're both doing it. Like if we had less of that in government, I'm pretty sure our deficit wouldn't be so bad.
Did you watch the State of the Union address with Trump?
I did watch a little bit of it, yes.
Because Trump calls that out. So he wants to pass a law that says that no congressperson can be in the stock market at all. That you can't buy stocks, you could buy like treasury bonds. And that's it.
Wow.
And he even called out Nancy Pelosi. Goes, is Nancy Pelosi here? Did she stand? Because like the
I
Democrats
didn't
won't
see
stand
that
for
part of
anything.
it.
Yeah, that was fun. I watched the entire thing, and
That
even
was
the
2 hours.
Democrats.
You watched it for 2 hours?
I watched the whole 2 hours. Yeah,
Holy
even the
cow.
Democrats stood up for that though, because he
Really?
called that out, and like he's like, I can't believe they stood for that. Like, look at them standing. And
Then
then he
they all
said,
sit back down.
Is Nancy here?" That
That's
was funny.
I don't know how you would do that though, because if you have a bunch of stocks in your portfolio and you run for Congress or something and you have to sell them, the tax bill, like if I sold the stocks in my own even at this one, if we take a look at this one and I went and sold this, I'd be looking at a massive tax bill plus the loss of all those dividend checks. So
Well, I would say that you could make an exception for that. So if you run for Congress and you win, you have to sell your stocks, but as a caveat to that, you won't get taxed on that. Then you could take that money and invest it in something else.
well shoot,
That
I'll just run for Congress and bail after I get elected.
no, you have to fulfill your term or something. I don't know.
I think that I think if they're going to do that, the best way probably to do this would be to make it so that, and this is just me thinking out loud, if you were to run, that if you had assets beforehand, that you can keep them, but you can't like,
Just freeze them.
yeah, they're frozen until you're done.
Yeah, you could get as it goes up and down, you can get the profit from it, but you can't take any money out and you can't put money in until you're done.
I could see that. That might be okay. Look at the oil stocks here. I was just looking at this.
Or anybody in your family.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Or Nancy Pelosi's husband.
You know they're going to get around that. They're going to have a friend somewhere or set somebody up that they give the tips to make all the money.
It's yeah,
And
it's not
then
hard to get around that one even. I don't know. There's so much like back scratching that goes on out there that it's just like they talk about our deficit. Elon Musk is right about, we really have a problem. We need to fix this, but you're not going to fix the problem with the way it's set up right now. They're just going to, like you said, they're going to find a way around it. They're going to spend their money on like that solar farm that was, I guess the EPA got involved in down near Arizona. I don't know if you heard about that. They put like billions of dollars into the solar farm, and a couple of years later, they found out that it was killing all the birds. So the EPA comes in and they're going to shut it down. It's like, wait a minute, we funded billions of dollars of taxpayer money, funded this thing, and then the EPA, which is also taxpayer funded, goes in and shuts them down, costs billions of dollars.
right.
Well, all that money is just gone. It's just gone. So until you get, and that was all like special interest lobbying Congress and back scratching like that. People made money off of that. And it's like, this is, until you can stop that, the problem's never going to go away.
Right.
Look at ExxonMobil today.
As a thought experiment, I thought about putting out to Grok or ChatGPT or Copilot or whoever and say, okay, using the Iraq War as a template as to who benefits from this war, in that case, Halliburton and Carlyle Group, who has the best chance to profit from an Iranian war?
Let's see. Who has... Let's do it. I'm doing it. We're doing it. This doesn't sound unethical at all. We're not doing this, people, but I'm very curious. I want to know what it has to say. So we are looking at, I wanted to look at automotive stocks today just to see what there was. And right now, with the conflict going on, we've had two of our stocks, ExxonMobil
Yeah,
and
Exxon's up too.
Chevron was negative not even a few weeks ago. Now the weird thing is remember how I said I think it was February, early February, we're like Chevron is and Exxon, they're going up a lot. Why are they going up so much? And now they're just, it's like people knew ahead of time that this is going to happen. Now I will admit, when you have a massive buildup of military just outside of Iran, like aircraft carriers, destroyers, all of that, it's pretty easy to see that, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. So I was like, oh, this is a surprise. I'm like, really? Are you really surprised? Are you not paying attention? Do you live in a cave? Like, do you
Something's going to go down.
Like, they put billions of dollars of assets military-wise in the strait, and you're thinking, oh, well, no, they're not going to attack. No, that would they wouldn't do that if he wasn't going to do something.
Right. And then, of course, you got Marco Rubio coming out stating the, I guess, obvious that Israel was going to attack and they had plans to attack Iran. And if they did that, Iran would counterattack. And one of their targets would be American bases and American troops. So to save lives, we joined with Israel to do a preemptive attack to save American lives.
Yeah, and plus they were. I mean, people want to say that. Oh yeah, it's because they were killing the protesters. I want to believe that we do care about the people that were killed in the protests. I want to believe that. I don't think that's what this conflict is about, though. I think it's more about American interests and resources than that. I would love to believe the altruistic story. I really would. But I can't get past the, they when they said, "Hey, let's stop the nuclear program. Let's stop this. Let's do business," is what they were trying to negotiate with them. They're like, "Oh yeah, we want to do that. Don't tell them we're still doing this thing." Like, how many times are you going to draw a line in the sand and then they step over the line in the sand? You're like, "Oh well, don't draw over this line. Don't step over this line." You draw another one. They step over that one. We've had this all the way back to like since I was a kid. This has been
Well, look
going
at to
on.
Reagan. Yeah.
It's
The
like
Iran
since
Contra scandal, you know? But yeah, the problem is you negotiate with them. You keep going back and negotiating. They say, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll stop our nuclear program. We just want the power plants if we can, you know." But yeah, we're totally not going to do that. And then they start doing it, and again, because there's no consequences other than maybe sanctions or something, and which has devastated their country, really, all the sanctions.
yeah, and
But
plus they got a drought too.
the negotiations don't work, and time again they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to stop it," then they continue it and we'll go in and destroy their facilities, then they just build it somewhere else and start again. It's like they're not stopping. That's the problem.
No, and this is the first time we've had somebody in an office, and now I'm going to speak positively because normally I don't, that had enough backbone to actually follow through and say, hey, stop. And if you don't, this will happen, and then follow through on it. Because the reason why people make so much fun of America is that we were not doing that before. Like we weren't, it was always nebulous of, well,
Yep.
it's okay. It's like, no, there's got to be consequences. If you make a decision that negatively affects other people, there's consequences. There's consequences for me. There's consequences for the business. I think we're the only country in the world that can just kind of get around with like, oh yeah, it's okay. It's all okay. It's not okay. You can't kill people in the street like that.
Right.
So anyways,
And then there's the opposite side of that, should be going into sovereign countries and killing their presidents, you know, when
probably
they
not.
directly attack us. So there's controversy there too. We probably shouldn't be going taking out Venezuela's president when Venezuela hasn't attacked us. Maybe some fiscal irresponsibility on their part that's affecting us, but I mean they haven't. Nobody's really going to attack us
I would
in
challenge
that
you a
way.
little bit on the Iran president guy, just a little bit. That guy was more responsible for more deaths through terrorism around the world than I think anybody else in like American history, except for when you go back to like World War II. He sponsored like sanctioned like suicide bombers, rocket bombing, terrorist things. Hey Matt,
Hey, Matt.
all sorts of problems all across the globe.
Yeah,
And I mean, he was the hub for all of that, and that's where it's
yeah.
kind of like, well, was he innocent? No, that was a bad
Oh hell
dude.
no. Yeah,
That he was
and,
not a good guy.
and like
Um,
Mao, China's Mao, he was a bad dude too. Killed a lot of people. So yeah, there's a few around in history, but yeah,
the
he
oth-
to say that the guy was not a bad guy is, I mean, you're stretching the truth a lot to come to that.
you made a lot of
So
people in the L.A. protest mad just now because they were like, "Oh,
right,
he's innocent." Like that is not an innocent man. Like what? Where did you get your info?
yeah, yeah, he definitely has done some pretty gnarly things and authorized some terrible things. So is it a good thing? Probably, but I don't know. I would rather have the Iranian people rise up and overthrow him rather than us. But
They need
that's
to.
hard. That's a hard one, right? That's a very hard one. So I'm
they
hoping,
they need to get somebody there that's a little bit more democratic from
yeah,
what's happening right now. Hopefully they can.
yeah. I'm really hoping they could rebuild the government into a structure that can self-sustain itself. Like at least with Venezuela, we didn't like kill the entire Congress, the entire government, right, and leave them in shambles.
No, we still. I
Um,
mean, the guy's still alive. I don't know where he is, but he's
I think he's in New
around.
York under the trials, but yeah, I think the fear is that Iran would become another Iraq, and we don't want that.
I would contend that they were closer than people realize. And when people say like, "Oh, well, that's not actually," they weren't really a threat. It's like, no, when you look at what the EU said, and even Britain was like, "Hey, we don't want to get involved, but you can use our air bases." Like you know something that you're not telling people. Like they were further along because Israel jumped right in like immediately. They're like, "Yep, okay, we're in," and all of a sudden Iraq starts like or not Iraq, Iran. I gotta say this right. They start bombing like Saudi Arabia and like Kuwait and all these places, the UAE all around them. Like, why would they do that? Like there's more at play than I think we know, because even Congress, when they voted on whether or not they should restrain what we're doing right now, even like the Democrats, most of them were like, well, it'd probably be worse if we didn't. So they said, yeah. So that's the thing I don't like about this whole like political machine. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people just aren't told.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of that needs to be public hearings. I mean, some are secret, for a reason. It's for security because if we tell our enemies what we're going to do, then they could, either counteract it or whatever. So we don't want to tell everything, but I think a lot of these backroom deals need to be not backroom. They need to be out in the open because if it was, I think a lot of them wouldn't be done, right?
They wouldn't, but it would make for great entertainment. I mean, you got this, since we're on this little kick here. If I thought I'd throw this in here, like since you talked about having this stuff out in the open, we put Hillary Clinton on the stand, and she walks out of the deposition. So I'll put that. I'm not going to play the video, but you can kind of see her just like, I've had enough, and she just gets up and leaves.
Yeah, I think this was Lorena Bobbert sent that out. But I
I
watched that video that I mean, she was getting heated in that.
she mad.
Just yelling at him. They're asking about like Bill and his responsibility and going back to even his impeachment. Was it true that Bill was impeached because of sexual blah 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 blah? And she goes, "Yes. You
I
could talk
can't.
to him next."
I mean, that's not really a fair question to her in her defense. I mean, that's her husband,
Right.
and
And it was
he,
true. Like,
yeah,
it
like
was true. There's no saying if she said no, she's lying. But they're trying to point to that, okay, given that truth, we can now point to Epstein that he does have a propensity for these, primal urges or whatever. So,
is that what you call it? Primal
yeah,
urges.
primal urges.
I'm sorry, honey. I was unfaithful because of primal urges.
But it points to evidence that he could also go to Epstein's island to touch little girls.
That was I don't know. I think there are so many problems right now with like what the information is regarding this conflict that I don't know if we should try to get into the whole like how are we going to navigate all of this. Like our perspective from a channel is like how do we navigate this for personal finance for us and for everybody watching this. Like what do you need to do differently to protect your income, protect your family, protect yourself, because this corruption, I mean the Noam thing, we talked about that earlier for all the people that just tuned in. That's all. It doesn't matter, like it happens on both sides,
Right.
and there's evidence of it right here, and they just use people. They almost manipulate people into these emotional little clicks that make them tunnel vision on the actual facts that are happening. And if that wasn't a truthful statement, Joe Rogan probably wouldn't exist. Like if these things didn't constantly happen, you wouldn't have people like that making such a footprint on American social media. Like that's just so this is why when I look at this stuff, this is why I had Fox News up there, but I also have this other one because somebody told me, I got to find it here. Where is it? Where is it? I know I got it. There it is. Someone's like, Tom, all you do is you just look at like Republican sources. No, I do not. I also look at Democratic ones too. In fact, I've got one here. And this is kind of relating to what we're talking about with the conflict of Iran. And we talked about the recession. We're going to look at some oil stocks. We're going to look at some automotive stocks, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if we can get into it. But right now, we want to tie this in because there's a couple of things happening that coincide with conflict that you need to be aware of. So this is from Democrats.org. It's actually Democrats.org. So you can't tell me that this isn't left leaning.
It's a bit on the nose.
It's got to be. If I find out this is like sponsored by like MAGA or something, I'm going to be sad. But like, oh, I messed it up again.
I've seen this article from I wonder what the actual source was. Did they source it? Is it like came from a Reuters or Reuters
that is a good
article?
question. It is copyright 2026 DNC services. So it's left. I'm right. I got it. If I found one out of I found a stack of needles in a stack of needles. It's amazing. No, it does not. I think this is the native article.
All right.
So they are saying new data reveals the extent of Donald Trump's damage to the economy. Oh my God. I'm already having trouble. Damage to the economy and American budgets. Do you want to read this? Because I'm going to short circuit. Go ahead.
A record share of Americans with Vanguard 401ks have raided their personal retirement savings due to financial emergencies, withdrawing a median of $1,900. The top reasons for increased hardship withdrawals include avoiding foreclosures and evictions and paying medical expenses.
Whoa.
Only 13% of workers indicated they felt confident in their financial wellness, and just 39% felt prepared for the financial emergency. A majority of Americans are dealing with credit card debt, 1 in 4 facing student debt, and less than half of Americans have 3 or more months of emergency savings. One more bullet to go. Under Trump, the share of workers who worked multiple jobs reached its highest point since 2000, and nearly 4 in 10 workers say inflation has significantly increased their need for additional income, and 72% say rising costs have made secondary work necessary to make ends meet.
Oh man, I got
that's a lot.
That's a lot of bias. That's too much bias. I'm struggling, Brian.
Maybe true. But it's only been a year. All this couldn't have happened just from 1 year of Trump. This usually takes multiple years to get to this point, right?
7 years, so, 4 to 7 years. Yep.
So that's one thing that they're missing.
They do bring up Trump's 15% tariff. See, they do cut that. The thing that stood out to me is when you were reading this, they were saying the withdrawal median of $1,900.
That's it.
Well, I'm confused by that because if you're going to pull out of your 401k, you pay taxes and you pay a penalty. So if you're doing it to do a medical expense or avoid foreclosure or an eviction, I would imagine that these people probably don't have a lot in their 401k to begin with. So there's probably not a lot there. But $1,900 doesn't get you very far.
No.
If you're really that far bad in a situation, if you're really that far out, you probably need more than this. So pay the fee once. Don't pay it every time. So I don't know. I don't disagree with the semantics of this. I disagree that they're blaming the administration for this. This goes back like a long time.
It's that last bullet point that really just drives the nail in the coffin for Trump on this article. It's like
we got him.
It's a half truth, unfortunately. So,
and for those of you who don't want half truths, go to ground.news and check it out. We're not sponsored by Ground.News, but we probably should be because we like these guys. Oh, they want me to subscribe. I don't want to subscribe.
Always.
So they've got some pretty good views on like what's left, what's right, what's center. Sometimes the articles are far left and there's no Republicans to cover it, like no right articles. Sometimes they're far right and there's no left articles that cover it. But our point in showing you guys this stuff, and especially under this Democrats.org thing, is that when you read one side of the story, you're only going to get one side of an emotional argument. It takes two people to argue, so you need to see the other side of the argument to understand where it's actually coming from. And if you're going to be investing in stocks, which fund your retirement, and or if you're in a recession and you had passive income like this, or up to $330 a month in dividend checks, you could use that if you had them in safe investments to fund. Like, what are they doing? They're paying for their mortgage, $1,900. If you had $330 of dividend checks, that's you could do that twice every single year.
Yeah.
So their 401k withdrawal is covered 2 times per year in an emergency. So they could cover 2 emergencies per year with the dividend checks that we built in this portfolio over the last 3 years. We fixed their problem. Done. Problem fixed. Low
No
taxes,
withdrawals.
no fees.
Needed. So two things with that is one, I've seen you argue with yourself, and
I'm good at it.
it's an interesting thing, and so sometimes it only takes one person to argue, right?
Especially when
And
it's me.
And two, if $1,900, if they had $4,000 in there, they could take out half of that, right, in a loan instead of doing a hardship withdrawal. They could have taken a loan. They'd have to pay that back, of course,
Assuming they could qualify for it.
and you could do a payment schedule. But I mean, that just gets paid back in your 401k, and the interest actually is like 9% right now. That would go back into your 401k, making up for some of the compounding interest that you're losing. But it's never a great thing if you count on your 401k for retirement to take any money out. Now, I understand for hardship and you need that money to, not lose your house. But I'm with you, $1,900 to, unless it's more than that and they've contacted the mortgage company and say, hey, I could get you $1,900 now to not foreclose. And then we'll put up, we'll figure out how to get the rest of the money. But it seems like $1,900 is not enough to foreclose a house, right?
It wouldn't even be
That's-
enough to pay. Like that's half of my tax bill.
Yeah, or that's maybe 1 month of the mortgage, right? And
Not even.
a lot of mortgages will let you take a month and defer it to the end.
That's the crazy thing about the number there. If you live in California or you live in New York, that's not even like a rent payment. Forget a mortgage. You can't even pay
That's
rent
half.
with that.
That's half of a single room flat in San Francisco.
This gets me back to my argument with myself. This whole point of you need to plan ahead, and that's why we took the $400 a month and we started this portfolio from zero to build it to this number here, where you've got something there. We made the assumption when we started this that you didn't have a lot of money. You did not have the ability to just go and, I'm going to put $30 billion into the stock market. You had a few $100s. That's all you had. You were going to invest it, and you used, if you needed to take it out in dividend checks or whatever, for whatever reason, you could do that at a later time. We were trying to future-proof and plan for problems, because I think that's the misconception people have about the stock market. They invest, they expect their money to come around tomorrow and go up 10,000% like an NVIDIA stock over the course of a week. They want it tomorrow, and that's just not how it works. So anytime somebody comes to me and they say, hey Tom, I want to do what you've been able to do, I want to get this and make the passive income that you've been able to make, and buy fancy things like tractors and cars and pianos and all this stuff. I said, okay, what kind of debt do you have? What kind of interest on that debt do you have? And I start talking to them about how they spend their money. Or like, well, I want to know what stocks to buy. I says, okay, how do you spend your money? How much does a gallon of milk cost you versus me? How often do you go out in your car and fix things on your own versus taking it to a shop? Do you have credit cards? What's the interest on the credit cards? Do you pay them off? Like all the things that you're supposed to be doing. bring your costs down. And they said, well, you got all this expensive stuff then, and you really nice house. I said, yeah, I drive a Porsche, I drive a BMW, I've got a tractor, it's all paid for, I got a grand piano, I got super fancy expensive stuff. I says, but if you take all that away with three children, the lowest common denominator where I can still pay all my bills, keep my cars fixed, keep the lights on, keep everything going, is $3,300 a month. They didn't believe me. Their mind was like blown. I was like, no, here's my budget. This is what it is. They could not understand. I says, because I do not know if tomorrow I will have a health issue. And I've had a few health scares. Like I do not know. You don't know if you're going to be driving your car tomorrow and some idiot runs a red light and you're going to get into an accident. You can't plan on that stuff. So if you want to first invest in stocks, my argument to myself or you that you're listening is that you have to be able to understand how to manage your finances in the worst possible case scenario first. If you can't do
Amen.
that, don't invest. Don't even start, because you're not going to make it.
Yeah. And I would say that it does not matter how much money you have in investments. If you do not have your spending under control, those investments aren't going to help you. You're just going to blow through your investments and then you'll be down to zero again. And you'll
Yeah, you
have
just
to
keep buying stuff.
right. So you need fiscal responsibility first, not have any debt, then start, then make your money. And then you could spend that money responsibly. You'll still be able to get all the stuff you want. It's just you got to get a hold of your instant gratification, you know? Those
Profound
urges,
moments
those
with
primal
Brian.
urges.
Those primal, those Clinton primal urges.
I would say instant gratification is a primal urge too, of a different kind.
I would contend
But
that,
it's the same.
if you can't do any of this stuff and it doesn't work, just run for Congress. You'll be a millionaire in like 2 weeks. We just sign up an RFP or something. Somebody get an RFP and make a ton of money. Don't do what I did and don't be stupid and start a small business, because then you realize that, oh my God, I'm paying like the highest bill I have is taxes. It eclipses everything. The private schooling, the Porsche, all the expenses of everything else. Taxes are by far our most expensive bill. And I've got a professional advisor. She's very good. I've got financial people that help, and they still are like, you can't do anything else, Tom. So, but
First
anyway,
act in Congress when you get in there is to go talk to Nancy Pelosi.
get investment advice is what I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right?
So, what stock would you buy 5
How do you
days
do
from
it?
now?
Now
Which
that I'm
one
on
is
the
it?
inside. Give it to me.
Actually, she's out of the circle now. I don't think, and plus she's got enough anyways. Why would she tell me anything?
She'd tell you how to do it.
She'd probably tell me where I could stick it. You never voted for me, you jerk.
Yeah, but I'm
Sorry.
in Congress now. I'm one of you.
That would probably make her even more mad. Don't compare yourself to me.
I don't know.
So this is what AI has to say about what we're talking about. It says a record 6% of workers in 401k plans administered, so this is the Vanguard group, they took hardship withdrawals in 2025. So this is an increase, a significant one, from 4.8% in 2024 and 3.6% in 2023. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask AI here and see, how does this compare to the recession? Let's see if I can type this right. There's a camera in front. Compared to the recession, if I can spell right. Because what I want people to do is I want to be able to correlate the financial situation where people are today to the stocks that are good buys potentially. Because if you're going to look at an automotive stock, there's going to be an issue with people being able to afford cars or a lease. They're going to try to get out of this stuff if the economy truly is crashing. And especially if you're looking at like the most popular thing as Ford stock as an example, like the pickup truck. Who's going to be buying expensive pickup trucks when your cost of gas goes way up? If people start looking at like Toyota Priuses when gas goes up really expensively. So mind over Matt, delayed gratification is a tough skill to develop. The younger you are when you learn this, the better off you are. I am still figuring that one out.
You do have a form of delayed gratification. It's just your gratification things these days are like astronomical.
I slap myself at least twice before I buy something.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I did it.
And if it was true instant gratification, you would have gone out and bought a brand new BMW and a brand new Porsche, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars instead of a slightly used one, saving yourself tens of thousands.
That is something I will admit I will probably never die in me. I do not like overpaying for anything. Even for my customers, I refuse. If I see a laptop out there that's like 20% more than the one I can get, I will refuse to spend that. Even if it's like 2%. It's like, no, I can get it cheaper over here. I'm going to do it.
Right. Or if it was like 20% cheaper yesterday, it's like, I'm not buying it now. I'm going to wait for that thing to come down again.
Right.
So you can wait. Like you've waited on this 8K projector for a long time.
4 years, man. I'm still waiting. Got to get
And
the
I know
lumens.
you're waiting for the technology to become what you expect it to be. So that's
Well,
part of it.
what I want is when I turn it on, I want it to be like that show where the sun is blinding people. It's like with the angels singing in the background, and I mean that would probably be enough brightness. That should last me a while.
I would.
It would last me a while. So here's what the AI says about the comparison of the withdrawal rates. So I don't know if I can, I don't think I can share this link. So you have to look at it on the screen. But this is the Vanguard saying that the record number of people in 2025 are withdrawing from their 401ks for hardships. As we just showed in the Democrats.org article, these people are pulling out to not to buy things that are frivolous, like we were just talking about. They're paying off their mortgage. They're trying not to get evicted from their house. So these are like serious things, not, oh, I thought I would buy a new Nintendo Switch too. Like it's not like that. It's stuff that they actually need. So the current situation is fundamentally different from 2008. While rating is at an all-time high now, the 2008 crisis was defined by crashing balances rather than record-setting withdrawals. So AI is losing some context here, but what I want people to pick up is now in 2025, a record 6% of workers are taking hardship withdrawals. In 2008, that number was below 2%. 3 times.
Yep.
Now, demographics are different in the United States today. The average person who has a 401k is notably older than before. There's other things into play like housing equity. I don't want to get into the housing market because I think I talk about it every single time we stream, so I got to not do that today. But the average balances are plummeting in 2008 alone. So there's the difference then and the difference now is pretty vast with regard to what we call the great asset bubble. There's also a little bit tighter standards around lending. You could look at currency swaps, M2 money supply and the float, what happens on the repo market to figure some of this stuff out. But we're not really getting into that part today. But this is the thing that I want people to take away is this withdrawal rate. 6% is 3 times what it was in 2008. So there is a fundamental problem of this K-shaped economy that we have right now that people are probably aware of, but they're not paying attention to where it's actually happening. And this is probably one of the reasons why when you look at the stock market, you're like, well, why isn't the stock market really dropping that much? Because most of the people that's affecting right now don't have these massive balances in their 401ks. The people who actually have money don't need to rate it yet. When that starts happening, then you'll start seeing the stock market crash when they start pulling on. That's not happening yet. So here we got the account balances in the next part they've got to talk about now 2025. Average balances hit an all-time high. That's another red flag. That is not good. So I'm drawing inference from what the AI is saying of 168,000, and that's a 13% annual increase. The recession averages balances plummeted 24 to 30%. Now, this is under the context that we're talking about the 2008 recession compared to what it is right now. The market today has not yet actually crashed.
Right.
So it's like I said, it doesn't have the full context, and that's often the case with AI. AI is getting better. It's still not there yet. So something else about participation. Participation is a record 85% due to auto enrollment. I do think that was a good thing that came out of the recession, which brings more lower income workers who are more likely to need those funds during a shock. This is what's happening. So it did admit that. And then it also says that the participation rate was lower and more concentrated among higher earners. So where that changed from then until now, this is the point I'm getting, is that the people who got auto enrollment in their 401ks who were tight are now rating that stuff, whereas the people who had the money back then were putting in the 401k now are more likely to have that in their assets because they're older at this point. So houses, boats, maybe they got an annuity, maybe they got a Roth, maybe they got something like that, but it's not the same thing that's happening right now. And what I would bring up to point here is with regard to the stocks and with regard to, in fact, if you even look at our positions here, we've seen, I got to go back 1 year. Yeah, there we go, 1 year. So if you go back 1 year and you look at the steady incline of our stocks, there needs to be some kind of dip to level out my performance in the portfolio because I don't know why I get stuck at about 20%. And we're just under that right now because you got to include the 5% dividends. But anytime I get over 20%, Warren Buffett says this too, something happens and then it gets kicked right back down. Now, I would contend right now that there's a lot of global strife out there. China's eyeing Taiwan a little bit more seriously right now than I think is considered healthy because they want it back. That could cause a crash. There's with Iran being in conflict with the United States right now, that's going to affect a lot of this stuff. And what we've noticed in our portfolio directly is Chevron, man. Chevron was one that we were looking at buying because they were negative. Look how much they shot up in just a few weeks, even before the conflict started. Like the moment we started sending our warships over to the Middle East, Chevron and ExxonMobil started climbing. Like people were anticipating this thing.
I would argue that it started climbing with Venezuela and Greenland.
Oh yeah, that
Those
too. Yep, yep. They
yeah.
went into the positive with that. ExxonMobil, not as much. They've recently, in fact, I think we can look at that real quick. Let's see what we got here. 1 month. That doesn't show me anything.
Nope. 3 months.
There we go. That's
There it
better.
is.
So somebody knew something.
Back in December.
How would they know that back in December? There's no even you go 6 months. Look at that. 109 to 144. Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I,
businesses that size do not grow that much. That would mean that their business model. So if we want to compare what's happening, that's the ticker symbol here and the line graph to their earnings, let's go look at their earnings and see if that lines up.
I think people were looking at Venezuela and expecting some sort of huge contract.
Not for Exxon. Trump said
Nope.
no. I don't think that's right that he has that kind of say, but let's see. Assets. Their assets went down. All right. Liabilities stayed flat. So that's not good. Total shares outstanding, they went down. That's actually good. It's good for the stock. And we go and we look at their income. I don't think we're going to see a 50% gain on their income. No, kind of flat. So this is like I was saying earlier in the stream. This is all speculation.
Oh yeah.
It's all FOMO. This is the day traders, options guys. This is not us. That is crazy to me. It's crazy to me to see that stuff. Like nothing happened fundamentally with the business that would drastically change their book value, their trailing earnings, earnings per share, and somehow the stock goes up 75%.
Trying to get in early on something that
Yeah.
they don't know is actually going to happen.
Now, if the oil crisis gets really bad, their margin on oil from these guys will be massive. But I would contend that the volume of sales matters just as much as the margin on a barrel of oil. Because, sure, we still need that, but people are going to stop driving their car if gas goes to $20 a gallon. They're in a carpool. I know most of the people, all of my customers would probably do that. It's like, hey, look, I'm gonna do more remote days. I'm not gonna drive. And you get enough people doing that, or you get places like Amazon, UPS, and anything that does logistics saying, hey, I can't do free shipping anymore. People are gonna stop buying online. Like there's a cascading effect to this economically that isn't just like a on a simple line graph. You can say, oh, this one thing affects this other. No, there's like 50 things. It's a domino effect. Veli, how do you counter companies that buy back shares or reduce dividend or cut completely? Let's say you guys are doing great, but I want to know what you read to prevent that. I like buybacks if I don't need the cash flow, because buybacks are a way to increase shareholder equity, so how much your money is worth, basically your shares are worth, without you having to get taxed for that profit. It's unrealized gains. So Berkshire Hathaway does this. If you really want to look at the story behind like share buybacks, Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, that whole crew was very into the prospect of share buybacks. Like they don't pay dividends; they buy back shares, and that's a tax-free way of getting people more net worth without having to be penalized for that. So I actually like them. So I like it when I see the outstanding shares of a business go down, where their liabilities are either staying flat or also going down. It's not easy to do that because a lot of companies who issue shares are doing it to raise capital to either grow their business or expand an operation somewhere to do something, or maybe they're fixing stuff. So I don't find it annoying. What I do find annoying, to answer your question, is what companies like Anali Capital do. We own Anali Capital, so I have a right to complain. At least I think I do. I voted. So here's the balance sheet. When you look at Anali Capital, they are IEP is another really. There's a lot of REITs out there that do this. They will issue shares to pay the people that have had the stock longer in lieu of the people that are buying the stock today. And I don't like that. So, like, look at the outstanding preferred issue 4, issue 5, issue 6, preferred issue 4. Look at this. They have all now. These are all paid off. Yay. But look at what's going on with their outstanding shares. This is an alley capital. So you're diluting your shares. So instead of you, let's say, so to explain this kind of directly, if you have 100 shares and those shares are worth $100, everybody's worth $1 per share if everybody has one share, right? Well, now let's say instead of $100, you issue another set of shares. Let's say you're worth $150, but now you have 300 shares. So the math doesn't quite work very easily, but basically it's a third that you lost in value just because they issued more shares. Sure, the business might be better and bigger, but your share is worth less because they diluted it. It's like another easy way to describe it would be, and my math's probably way off with that, but if you take a glass of water and you put one sugar cube in it, it's kind of sweet. You keep dumping sugar cubes in it. Well, do it in reverse. So have all those sugar cubes in there and start taking the sugar out. Eventually, you're not going to be able to even taste the sugar. That's what happens. So, like here, we've got 365 million shares back in 2021 for Nelly Capital. Now, if you look at the market cap for these guys, this is what I'm going to get at with this: is today they have $707 million. Or 707 million shares. What you would expect to see is that the stock doubled in that time, and it did not. And that's what I find annoying is when people don't understand what happens when they do reverse splits. This is what happened to that stock over the course of the 5 years. So they were trading at their high, 37.88, and now they are trading at I don't know what are they trading at now, 22.53. So I would contend that sure they pay a big 10% dividend, but what you had is called a net asset value depreciation of your principal value. You don't want that with your stock. I thought you guys like equality. Yeah, we like equality.
Equity.
Equity.
Oh, it is equality
Yeah.
more than cash. I think he meant equity.
He
Cash.
probably meant equity.
Yeah.
So more than cash. And if you hold, get your dividends just like you wanted, also company grows, your profit. Yeah, your profit grows. That is, so we like a good balance. I try to find a stock that's beat up, one that's kind of not doing too good. It's got negative news, it's got coverage, there's something that's happened with it, but the underlying company has a good product or service that people have to have. They've got a good defensive moat, so it's not easy for vultures to come in and like pick away at stuff. That it's a good business. and then we try to find them when they're undervalued. The plays that we have in our portfolio that did that, if I can get to it, hang on, wait for it.
And while you're doing that, I think one of the things we like a company to have some cash. There's a sweet spot of cash that they should have on hand, right?
All of it.
We don't like them to spend it all
They should have all
on
the cash, all the cash,
this all the cash.
all the
Nobody should have
cash.
any cash. But they don't. If they have too much cash, then that's a problem as well, right?
Yeah, because the
That
interest and inflation will kill it.
exactly. But they need to have some cash on hand to pay for things, to do things, right?
So the plays that we have in our portfolio are pretty much anything over 50%. ExxonMobil was beat up during the Biden administration. J&J was too because of the whole pandemic problem. Fastenal is not really one that's like that. They were just kind of depressed relative to where they were 24 and 12 months ago. So it's like, it's a good buy. I've had Fastenal for 20 years, so it's like I like them. But the Intel was definitely one that we saw was undervalued. And I think if you go back and you watch the videos, I was saying like they're trading below their book value. Who does it? Like I was crazy excited about that, and people were like, nobody cares. But I mean, look at the number. Same thing
Somebody
with
cared because the stock went up considerably.
right. The book value changed. The valuation of the stock changed. AT&T is another one that we saw was very undervalued. Now, right now, I think they've always kind of hovered between $16, $15, and $32, $35 at a high end. Like they get up to 32, 35, and then they drop back down, and then they go back up. So I want to buy more AT&T, but I'm not there yet. But that was the same thing with AT&T. Same thing with 3M. When 3M had that lawsuit for their masks with the military, people were like, "Oh no," and they had this whole bunch of debt. Well, all they did, and this happens all the time. So if you're looking at a business and you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a lot of bad debt in this particular bad debt in this business sector," it's not a good play. Look at what happened with Kenvue and Solventum from 3M. If you look at that stock, 3M spun off a company called Solventum. They riddled them with $9 billion of debt. Now all of a sudden 3M looks amazing. Solventum doesn't look so great, at least at first. They're coming back. And then boom, the stock goes up. The same thing happened to Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson split off Kenvue and riddled them with a bunch of debt on their way out. And then, like, I guess Kimberly Clark now is buying Kenvue. Not even like 2 years later. It was ridiculous how quickly this happened. So 2 years go by, they end up buying Kimberly Clark, or Kimberly Clark buys Kenvue, and Kimberly Clark now all of a sudden the stock doesn't look so good. So now, as far as like what we're looking at buying, we're looking at toilet paper. Like that stock right now looks undervalued relative to what it is. Have to look at the Kenvue assets that came over from Johnson & Johnson to make sure that debt load isn't too much first. But these kinds of things are very
Another
common.
one, AT&T spins off Warner Brothers,
Yeah. Oh,
riddles
yeah.
them with a bunch of debt, and now Paramount is buying them.
Yep. This is very common in that world, unfortunately. It's a thing.
Unfortunately, Netflix dropped out of that.
I don't know if I think that's, for my personal viewing, I don't know if that's a bad thing. There needs to be competition.
Yeah, but that gives Paramount just such a huge market share of the media, right?
Why didn't you buy them? You could have made your own media company.
Because I don't have $111 billion.
Just run for Congress. You get it then, and then you could get a big, nice loan, and you
There we
got it.
go.
You could say, we're making media great again.
That'd be awesome. I would do that.
Brian is making, no, movies, because Paramount's movies, right?
Yeah.
We're making action heroes
Warner
great
Brothers,
again. Brian is doing it. All right. So, anyways,
I'm the Batman.
I am the Paramount. This guy, I feel bad for him, but I think it paints the picture perfectly of why we're doing what we're doing. We do not care so much in a bad way that the market crashes, because we care more about our ability to pay our bills in this event. So
This guy looks like he needs a different job. He's
He's
not
a-
enjoying his.
that's the way I look every time I see like some ticket come in where some guy's like, my keyboard, and we had this week, my keyboard and mouse doesn't work and I need this to work right away, and we tried multiple different keyboards and they don't work. He has a laptop. The laptop
keyboard on the laptop.
It works. Like it actually works.
But I don't like using that. I need the clicky keys.
It was an emergency for him. I'm like, okay, if it's an emergency, just use that one. We'll get you another one. We'll teach you how to go to control panel and turn it back on. And if there is an actual problem with it and I'm being a complete jerk, I'm totally sorry. We'll get you another laptop, but good grief.
My Porsche isn't working and I need it to drive right away because I'm going to drive somewhere. But what about your BMW that you got? Well, I don't like driving that car.
That's kind of what it was. It's too low to the ground. I feel like a lowrider.
It's just not the same.
The rims pretzel every time I hit a pothole, and Michigan's full of potholes.
I don't fit in that car quite right. It's a little too small.
It's where you get this video. 5 minutes later, you see the guy who's not drunk trying to drive through the Michigan roads, and then like the guy who's drunk straight hitting every single pothole as he goes. Anyways, I heard stock market lost $2 billion on Monday. Yes, it did. It lost more than that. This is 800 points Dow tumbling. This is yesterday. What did it say? It was, I don't know how much money that is. It's a lot of money. It was more than $1 billion.
Boeing and Caterpillar.
See, the thing I don't like about when they talk about the commodities like gold and stuff, you can't just go into like, here, I'm going to buy, I don't think it's going to let me. I'm going to try it though. WTI crude. Watch, it's going to let me do it.
There it is.
Oh, son of a gun. Okay, good.
No, it did because WTI came up.
Let's see. Hang on. No, that's an offshore. That's not crude.
That's not crude.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. It's like you can't
buy crude oil.
Not directly. That's the thing with buy silver, buy gold. Okay, fine, but you're not going to go to like Morgan Stanley and just like, hey, give me a gold bar, please. It doesn't work that way.
Just like silver and gold, there should be some commodity ticker symbol for that.
CSOP, WTI, crude oil futures. Here's your future one.
Yeah, it's a futures, like gold futures and silver, but it is blank.
And I'm not in the futures, so I can't do it.
Still, it is not.
I have to tell tomorrow me to buy the stock tonight so that it'll have, whatever.
But you could buy the gold futures on Schwab.
You can? Really?
Yeah.
What's the symbol? Yep. Give me the symbol.
Paper gold. I don't
GLDX?
remember what it is.
Gold shares? Yeah, you couldn't do this a few years ago, not easily. Gold shares, SPDR. Is this commodities? This has got to be like an ETF. Yeah, this is a fund. But this gets back to what I was saying. It's like you can't buy these commodities as easily as you would think.
I'll have to find it again.
Oh, here's another one we missed. Look at that. 188%. Boom. People aren't being paranoid at all. Downside capture ratio. Holy cow. That is, I don't think I'd want that one. That one's pretty risky. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that one. I have, buying the stuff directly could work, Matt. I have an aversion to doing stuff directly like that only because somebody told me that, if the market crashes and your portfolio is worth zero, I'll still have this like gold bar that I can use. And I said, no, you're going to need ammunition and food and water if it's that bad. Because if the financial markets are completely bankrupt, that means you can't use your credit card for anything or like cash, really. In that world, you could probably use a bar of silver or some gold to trade for something, but I would contend that people are going to find food rations a lot more valuable in that kind of a market. But I would be surprised if the global economy got it to a point where if the American dollar completely goes away, that you couldn't trade these stocks for whatever the currency is at the time. It could be some crypto, it could be gold. Could be it could be the yuan. It could be whatever BRICS decides, or whatever the central banks decide. So the UFC, I see that as Fight Club, the United Fight Club, not the federal chair. The Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club here. Made promises that some special fight. Oh, it is a fight. UFC. He is saying the Fight Club. Special
No, yeah,
fights.
it's mixed martial arts. United, what is it called?
I want to see Mark Zuckerberg, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and like all of Congress do like a Braveheart battle. They should stream it, and
A
they
United
need
Fighting
Nerf
Championship.
claymores, giant Nerf claymores. That would be
Nerf.
perfect.
Yeah, they had that. That was
Can,
American Warrior.
can you imagine like Mark Zuckerberg coming up to like Elon Musk and just hitting him with this Nerf sword, and the Nerf thing like breaks in half?
I don't know.
Perfect form, because I guess Mark really does do fitness stuff. He does mixed martial arts. I could see that. What do you guys think of those events, or will they do it? I don't like it, honestly. What do you think, Brian?
Uh, DC White House.
You want a Fight Club in the White House?
No, they're very pro-Trump, so that it makes sense. Unless there's like senators fighting each other, I don't want to watch that.
You know why they're pro-Trump? It's because it's like, hey, we use his rally speeches to rile up our fighters.
Well, he goes to UFC events a lot. Trump
Yeah,
does.
he does. He supports that quite a bit, actually. Boxing events too. Well, ExxonMobil, I think we missed the bus, honestly.
Yeah.
We own them already, but I mean, they went from $108 a share roughly 3 months ago, going even 6 months ago. Yeah, $108 a share is where they were low, and they're all the way up to 140 something now, 150 now. Jeez. So
Hey, Matt, for gold bars, if you go to Costco, a lot of times you could buy it at your Costco store, like an ounce for under spot. So, I mean, you have to do your research and keep calling and ask if it's in stock and check what the price is in Costco and do your due diligence. But a lot of times you could buy it for under spot there.
I would contend that you could also do what somebody I used to work with, a guy who took motherboards and like circuit boards and audio stuff, and he would melt
You
down the
melt it.
board and get the gold out of it. You could do that. I never found out how much he actually got from doing that, because I'm curious. Like, how did you get a significant amount from that? Because some of the old like sound receivers actually had quite a bit in them, gold plated, but still.
That would be difficult to get enough. I mean, but it's like 5,000, 5,200 per ounce now. So if you could get an ounce out of all that, I wonder how many motherboards you'd need to get.
I want to find out, like, how full is your base? What'd you do with all the spare stuff, and how long did it take? This is when you find out like his hourly rate's like $3,000 an hour, and you've been doing it wrong your whole life. Like, come on, are you serious? It's like another pet rock moment. This guy made millions of dollars with a pet rock. It's a stupid rock. Put a
Yeah.
name on it, and kids are like, "Oh, I want it." Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think Chevron too. I don't know. I could see, and tell me what you guys think. I could see Chevron and Exxon, or any of the other ones that like the AI is saying here. They're saying RTX, Northrop Grumman, of course, Kratos
Raytheon.
Defense, Lockheed Martin. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see all of them going up, but um,
I could
I
even see the energy companies going up from this.
Yeah, and I don't know if I believe the cybersecurity and intelligence aspect. These guys have already had a huge run, and if you're bombing a country, it's not like they don't know where the data centers are. You just do a heat signature map and you can find, oh, look, there's a bunch of computers there. Boom. Like they're not going to have the resources easily, especially in a country like Iran that's getting bombed by us, to just hack them right away. Now, if this is Russia, that's a little different. Russia could.
Ah, but they did hack them. And there's evidence because there's a lot. If you go on YouTube, you could find it that there's a lot of people in Iran because the internet is very heavily monitored there, but they were able to get out videos of Trump talking to the Iranian people on. They hacked their networks and ran this video of Trump talking to the Iranian people saying, "This is the time to uprise and take over
Good.
your country and take it back for the people and blah blah blah." So it's a
Good.
lot of
Do it.
propaganda.
Stop
But
the
yeah,
war.
they did. They hacked the networks and played the video. So these companies, I don't know which one did it. Somebody did it.
Microsoft.
I don't think it
No,
was
it's
Microsoft.
probably one of these guys.
Yeah, it could have been the military. The military does have a cyber security hacking team and
And it's
several of them. But
huge. And it's
yeah,
on Hawaii.
they had to
Get all the good
fight
spots.
China and Korea. But yeah, so yeah, to say that they didn't have time to hack it, they did hack them.
I meant the other way, like Iran hacking us. I don't see their ability to do
Oh
that
no,
as a defense buff. I mean, they're not going to have the ability to do that. Russia, China, any one of the other countries that has actual land mass, that they could. I mean, you can't get in the middle of Russia real easily. Not that I would want to see that anyways, but look at these guys. Boom. Yeah, Palantir. When you're looking at a company that's $364 billion, you're not going to get a lot of price appreciation beyond this. And people talked about, oh, Tom, should I buy Palantir stock? Yeah, maybe, but I mean, look at this gain. That's not going to happen again. You're going to get 2,000% gains.
no.
So I don't know. I don't
Unless
think
they come out with some new inventive thing.
CrowdStrike had
They were
they've
another
had
one
quite the
too.
year.
Yeah,
Is that right? CrowdStrike, CRWD.
at
Yeah.
the bottom there. Yep.
So yeah, it wants us to look at CrowdStrike. We're gonna see what CrowdStrike has to say.
Boom.
That's not as, but CrowdStrike's been around a little bit longer. That's not as
Right.
much as Palantir, obviously. But as far as the war is concerned, I don't know. I don't think that if you were going to do one, I could see maybe these guys, but I don't see how they would benefit from, especially at that market cap. I don't see how you're going to get massive gains just from that. I Because we've already looked at ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil has already been up more than 50%. Chevron as well, and Venezuela played a part in some of that. We didn't look at LNG or VLO. Could probably take a look at those. Hey, you got a Costco shopper there. Matt's gonna go to Costco now. Where's all your gold? Give me your gold.
Rum did dip again today. I was watching that. Time to buy more.
We can't. 2 weeks from now. I gotta buy it 2 weeks from now.
I'm gonna buy more.
Jerk.
My personal account.
This would be the one time it goes up 5,000%, and I like
Yep.
missed it again by 2 weeks. Gosh darn it!
I got Zim. I'm gonna get Rumble.
I'm glad you bought them when they were down day. I was, oh, I should have done it. I didn't do it, but boy, these guys are right at their high. Look at how much they spiked since December.
Dang.
That is crazy. So when you're thinking about companies that people that might know that something's about to happen, you can't look at these charts and go, nah, nobody knew. Nah, it was an accident. This is all just like developing events. Like this is developing a year ago. They've been planning this for a while.
What was that? A 50% gain right there?
Yeah. This is only 1 month. That's a lot. That's kind of like Intel when they got their contract from Nvidia. So the trick with some of these is you got to find it before this stuff happens. And we kind of did for most of our stocks, but I don't. They did shut down one of the refineries I heard last week, so I'm not sure. Let's look at LNG here. Let's see what LNG has. Are they? Valley says LNG's down, so maybe this will be our thing. Oh, oh, look at that. It's like a roller coaster. Um, let's go to a smaller chart. I'll make sure this is the actual stock because sometimes if you're in Schwab, it'll show you the chart for the previous one. Come on, go 3 months, 3 months. Let's do it. There we go. That's still a lot. That's 20%. Oh, more than that, 30%. Hmm. I think we missed the boat.
Yep.
I don't think we got the boat on this one. Let me go look at their earnings.
Unless we take over their oil refinery and one of these guys take it.
Look at this. Their actual earnings Q4 2025, 10.68. They estimated 3.9. What happened?
Well, even second quarter, 7.3 when they estimated 2.5. It's like,
Yeah,
where are they getting these profits from?
could be Noam. I mean, she got fired, so could have been her. Maybe these were the guys they awarded for advertising.
An oil company?
Not sponsored by Pfizer. Let's see. You said they're down. I'm not seeing that they're down a lot. Felly, where do you see that they're down? Am I looking at the right stock? Because I don't see it.
LNG.
I just see a bunch of jumps here.
Are we still looking at LNG?
Yeah, we are. I think this is LNG. Yeah, it's LNG.
Yeah, LNG. So what's the 1 day?
I don't know.
Can
Today
it
is
do 1 day?
Friday.
1 day.
1 day.
Yeah, see, it's down for
They
today,
flat.
but they're going back up.
They're up today, 2%.
2% from the
Yeah, I don't
beginning.
know.
Yeah.
I think we missed the boat on some of these because Palo Alto. Yeah, I could look at them. I understand them. We looked at CrowdStrike. Let's look at Palo Alto. They make firewalls and network stuff. It's not big where we are, but what was it? PNW, PANW,
Key.
Panwa. That's what my daughter says when I cook. Pan.
Isn't that the name of the continents when they're all together? Panwa?
Not Pangea. These guys are down. They were at 216 to 164. Boy, they got hit hard. I would contend that this network space, this market, is a really challenging one. We in my IT company, we sell network infrastructure equipment, so I'm seeing the changing landscape and margins that used to be there don't exist anymore. There's a lot of new competitors coming into the space selling products at less than like 1/5 the price of what companies like Palo Alto and Cisco and like WatchGuard and Meraki sell them for, and they're just as fast. So you're going to see some upheaval, and to me, I would contend that that would put a risk on this business, and you wouldn't know that unless you're physically in this space. And we just happen to be in this space, so that's Tom's 5 cents there. But their numbers look okay.
Look at them go up.
Liabilities don't look so good.
Man.
The assets do though. Look at that. They've 230%. That's pretty good.
Assets went up, liabilities went up.
Only 50% for liabilities. So the LNG, the profits or any revenue, no fundamental changes for now because the breaks stated in Monday. I didn't see that on Monday. You'll have to show me what you're talking about because I want to know. I just don't see the dips. Let's see, income statement, and these guys might be okay. This might be a good one. Look at that. They turned a profit. When did they turn it for 2023? Yeah, okay. Net income, that all looks good. What about their cash flow here? Let's go see. Do they have monies? First of all, do they have shares? Are they share worthy? They are increasing their shares. That's not good. Are they doing cash flow statement? We're just doing a quick first blush on this just to see if anything sticks out. And if it does, then we'll dive deeper off stage. So dive deeper. See what I did? Dive. Nah,
Dive deeper, yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right. So they started with 2.9. Now they're down to 2.279. So they lost some cash. They're issuing some debt. Overall, the rest of the numbers don't look bad. So if AI thinks they're going to, yeah, that's not conflict related though. That's not related to us bombing
No,
Iran. So that's kind
that
of
they're not
a,
directly benefiting from the war. That's what I wanted.
yep. So AI did not help us. They did not. RTX, Rayathon. Yeah. I've had, somebody mentioned RTX to us 2 years ago, I think, when we were looking at General Dynamics. I guess we could look at General Dynamics. Let's go back and take a look at that. Let's see what we got.
I think your prompt needs work.
I just probably need to use the paid for version. I got the Redneck Podunk freebie one in Google. Their paid for version is probably like the super intelligence. It's on par with Jesus. Like it
Like
knows everything.
like you made the comment that it's not conscious because when you stop talking to it, it stops talking to you. That's just the version you see. Like when you go to these places in some lab somewhere, I bet you they do have some sort of version that just once you walk in a room and they see you, hey, how you doing? It starts
It,
conversation. And when you're
it
talking to it,
it told me, now I don't know if I believe this, but it told me it did not, because the energy costs alone would be massive. And I says, yeah, but I mean, if you look at the megawatts that Copilot from Microsoft's own financial report use, it's pretty big already. So how can you
right
tell me that this isn't actually happening? And it kind of shut
now,
me down.
if you go to back to the State of the Union, Trump did suggest that he wants to put in place a bill that allows these companies to create their own energy. So instead of having to rely on the grid, they can create their own energy company to power their company.
So what you're saying is that I need to buy a ranching company because they're going to find a way to hook up cow farts to these data centers and power it from methane.
Buy a
I
bunch of
actually
cows.
I actually saw a SPAC for something like this where somebody's like, well, yeah, you just hook it up to the rectum here and then it pumps out the methane and then you put it in the storage. I'm like, okay, I'm sure that investors, that's the first thing they want to see. I'm going to walk into a farm and see a bunch of pumps come out of cows' rear ends. Like, are you
Yep.
kidding me?
No.
I guess he had some funding too before it fell apart, but still.
It would be better just to get it from the dumps, right? We bury all our stuff, it breaks down,
Uh,
it becomes methane, it comes out, and then in the dumps light it on fire, right? You see the big flames.
there are a
That's
few that
just
do that. I don't know if we have that in Michigan though. Do
we
you know of
do.
any? We do?
Yeah. Yeah, there's several.
Huh.
So then why not just capture that gas and use that gas for energy?
Use all the gas from the hot air from my jokes.
Eh, that might power your house.
That's a lot of power, Brian. You know how much this stream setup like takes? It heats up my room, man. So this is see, this is another one, General Dynamics. They are doing really well. And this is outside of the direct tie to the war benefit. Now, these guys make tanks, right? So I don't
War
think
companies
that
like war, right?
yeah, I don't think we're gonna, hopefully we don't see tanks in Iran. That'd be a really bad scenario, but
Evidently, we need to build more missiles because we're running out of missiles to shoot down Iranian missiles
I heard
and
that.
and Russia missiles.
I heard that. I also heard that they're saying that we're going to run out, like our allied countries, Saudi Arabia, and those are going to run out before Iran runs out. How long were these guys making missiles? Like, good
20, 30
Lord.
years.
How many do they have? I mean, we've been bombing their facilities, and you keep finding more. It's kind of like, if you got a kid that never cleans their room, you walk in there and there's like, what's behind this door? Oh, there's more
Yeah,
stuff back there. It's like, what?
it's trickling down because we bought so many of their facilities that actually shoot the missiles that they're running out of places to actually fire it from. So,
You know what this is probably like? It's probably you can't tell I have kids. It's probably like Despicable Me, where the guy has these bombs that these kids sleep in. Don't worry, they won't blow up. They're very old. but like maybe they did this as like a national incentive. It's like, hey, give your kids a free bomb for, well, they're not really Christians, so that would be whatever their Ramadan festival is, something like that. But like, have a missile. You could put it in your garage. They don't have a lot of garages over there. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
You are.
I'm good at that though. General Dynamics looks pretty good. That's one that looks okay.
They've gone up too.
In case you're wondering why we're not looking at automotive stocks this week, because I said we would and we didn't. We just shared earlier in the stream a few bits about like people are rating their 401ks, the oil prices going up, and we talked about the cascading effect of the oil prices causing with logistics and supply chain stuff and people's spending habits or driving habits. So we're trying to see, because this is Iran war is like a new thing, we're trying to see where to position ourselves in that environment. Did you see the footage they released of one of our
Yeah, Matt.
battleships using a? I did not.
That's interesting. You should look that up. They're also using microwave weapons to shoot down all the drones because Iran has just thousands and thousands and thousands of drones
Yeah, they
that
send their
they're
kids to
using
school with them.
that they're using them to blow buildings up and stuff. So that's not a good thing. But and we're using like Patriot missiles, like a I don't know how much they cost, $3-4 million per missile to shoot down a $30,000 drone. So we're losing the war on money. That's how much these things cost.
This is why we need a Federal Reserve to be able to print money because we don't know how to be efficient.
Yeah, we
That's
need
like
something better.
that's like using a steamroller to step on an ant.
Yeah,
Hang on,
and
start it up.
that's when they're starting to use these microwave weapons to disrupt the drones. So they just fall out of the sky. It's kind of freaky to watch.
From what I know about that, it takes time though. So like you can't just shoot the laser and instantly it catches fire and the thing, goes out of the sky. It
Yeah,
takes a little bit of time where it has to be precise and then heat it up and then catch fire. So I don't think they can use it if it's like cloudy or rainy or something like that. So we still need something else.
yeah. The microwave weapon can. It's instant.
If they start using nukes, because it just covers a wide section of air, then we have a problem.
Or an EMP. You just need an EMP, right?
It's like going deer hunting with a bazooka. Well, I don't really have to hit it. I just kind of have to get it over in that general area over there, and I get a whole bunch of them at once.
Belly, by UPS, do you mean an uninterrupted power supply or the company that ships things?
That is a good point. UPS. I was looking at them. Was it in this one? It was not in this portfolio. That is. Let me go back and look at them because they got hit pretty hard earlier this week. I thought I posted something about that.
Like five from the top. If not, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happened to these guys. That might be a good one to look at.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, they got kicked in the
They got
teeth.
beat up again.
Yeah.
They got beat up because of Amazon, and now they're getting beat up again.
Well, every time I saw something from UPS, this was like 10 years ago, I want to say, that every time the cost of gas goes up by a penny, it costs them $1 million a day.
Damn.
Like one penny is $1 million. So I could see a place like UPS, especially if oil prices go way up with the Iran conflict, having a big problem. And it does coincide with, so this is 5 days, the price drop does coincide with other investors picking up on that, unless there's something else I'm not aware of. But that does match. I mean, that does match that story, and I'm going to stick
Let's
to it.
let's see what Super Grok says.
What does Super Grok say?
Super Grok is thinking.
Super Grok needs to hurry. Come on, we're in social media, Super Grok. People only have a 3-second attention span, including me.
TTNDY.
Tindy? Tindy? I don't know what that one is.
Is that Tinder for kids?
Oh, no.
Tindy?
No.
Or are those the chicken nuggets from Wendy's?
It's like
Those are
Tinder
tendies. Those are tendies.
tendies. Ooh, me tendies.
Tendies. Yeah. It's
Ten-
funny. Have you seen the Wendy's ad that picked up on that?
no, I don't get out,
Because
man. All I do is work. Remember,
it
I sit
was
here all day.
it was Kitty. God, what's his name? What's his name, Tom?
I told you, I don't know.
GameStop dude.
Oh, Roaring Kitty?
Roaring Kitty. What's his name?
I don't know. Roaring Kitty.
Anyway, because he would say that on stream a lot. It's like go get your tendies, and he would because he'd had chicken nuggets from Wendy's. He's like, get your tendies,
Gosh, you're
and
making
it
me
was
hungry.
profits. So Wendy's actually has a commercial that was talking about their chicken nuggets and chicken tenders, and they start saying tendies. Yeah, that's fun. Tendies. That's what we're gonna call them from now on. It's like, oh, come on,
You know,
you
I
missed
like
it.
the Tinder for kids where you could like have an advertising. We only wear like Mario pajamas here. That's creepy. I'm not doing. No, I don't like
What
that
are you
idea.
talking
I
about,
have no
dude?
idea. You said it. You were like,
You
"Oh
have
no,
no
this is
idea what
Tinder for
Tinder's for, do
kids."
you?
No, I don't get out. Remember, I work. Hey, tell me what this company does. This is a business summary for all of you wonderful people. Come on, Brian, give me your Barry White kids Tinder,
Matt
whatever
Matt
that is.
Matt says they own Ryobi in Milwaukee, so they're tools. Tektronic Industries Company Limited engages in the provision of power tools, outdoor power equipment, and floor care and that's a lot of ands cleaning products.
And
The company operates through power equipment and floor care and now they actually use the
they use a symbol this
ampersand
time.
cleaning segments. It offers power tools, equipment, accessories, hand tools, safety solutions, and storage products, outdoor products comprising gas, corded, and cordless equipment, and
And
cordless cleaning products, and
and
carpet washing products. The company provides its products under the Milwaukee Ryobi AEG Empire and Homelight,
they own
as well as,
Milwaukee and Ryobi? I did
yeah,
that's wow. That's a very
as
different mindset for tools.
as well as under the Hoover or Hoover and Oric, Vax and Dirt Devil names.
Hey, you
Wow.
don't you added an and. You can't add an and where there's no and.
But I said Hoover
Shame
and
on you.
Oric as far as like they own them both. Yeah.
They're based out of Hong Kong, so this is a Chinese company. You're going to pay a fee.
Oh.
There's your fee right there. So that's a red flag.
Yeah, but that was in 1985. It was a British company back then.
Are they based out of? I think they're still based out of Hong Kong.
Yeah, but Hong Kong was owned by the British in 1985.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but in 1985, where it says incorporated in 1985 and is based in, that was a British company to begin with.
You know,
But now it's Chinese.
I want to say this name, ttigroup.com, but I almost said it the wrong way. I almost went X-rated there. I shouldn't do that.
Mm.
Tectonic Industries delivers solid performance in 2025. I like Milwaukee tools.
I did not know Milwaukee was a Chinese company
I didn't either.
or Hong Kong company
It's
or
kind of
Ryobi.
like it's kind of like finding out that Honda is more American than overseas.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
It's like finding that DeWalt is owned by somebody else now.
I have some Ryobi tools. I've been replacing them. I don't know if I'm. They're a good cheap tool, but you're gonna have to convince me that their new stuff is better because I'm not a big fan of the old stuff. Milwaukee's okay. Don't know about the other two very much.
Empire, like Home Depot sells a lot of Empire tools. And I've got
Do,
it like squares and stuff from them.
do they?
Yeah.
That's new to Home Depot then, I guess. I haven't been to Home Depot in a while.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go back. Let's see. What does Market Edge think? They're not on here. Oh, they must
Yeah,
be
they are.
small.
They don't provide a rating. No rating provided by Market Edge. No rating
Well, for
provided by
crying out
Argus.
loud, I need to know if you agree with me or not, Market Edge, because if you don't, I got to buy them. Let's see what
They
their
got a
numbers look
dividend.
like. They do. Oh, is she violent? Not that violent.
Not that violent. It's going up.
I like those numbers. 24% payout. 4 times coverage. That's a little bit of a red flag. It's almost too covered. There's a reason why I say that.
I know.
Sometimes that, like if it's over 200, 300% or whatever is outside their normal, there's some kind of fundamental reason for that. Maybe they sold an asset or issued shares or something. They got cash from something and it's outside of their normal flow, and that could cause a problem. What does their competition look like? So if we look at the tendies in Dove soaps, in snakes, in RBCs,
Snap on.
and ITT Technical Institute. No, that's are they? I don't think they're around anymore. If we look
They're
at
not
all these
around anymore.
guys,
They
they
went
have
bankrupt.
the lowest profit margin. So that's not a good. That's a very low profit margin. So with that profit margin in mind, it's only 7.8%. I want to go and look at their statement, and I want to look at their. Actually, hang on real quick. We're going to go look at the dividends one more time. Where are we going? Dividends, dividends. Come on. Let's get there. There we go. They raised it 18%. Okay, so it's been 132 a share in 2024. It's 155, and then 2023 it's 118. Okay, so those are reasonable numbers. Let's look at quarterly. I think my kids are home. I can hear them. Quarterly, we are going to go assets, and that is
Up.
quite a bit though. Like they jumped $1 billion here. And then if we look at the total liabilities,
Down.
yeah. But see, they jumped again before they went down. What about their shares? Paying them down. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. First
I'm in
blush.
the I'm in the DeWalt ecosystem, Matt, so I'm kind of stuck there.
Yeah, I've been told by builders that DeWalt's kind of like the if you don't want to get robbed, you just kind of put a DeWalt logo on your toolbox. You can leave it unlocked. I have DeWalt tools, so I don't know why they
That
say
was
that.
they got bought out by Stanley Black and Decker, so Black and Decker makes DeWalt now.
Oh, that's why they said it. Okay, I never really
Yeah,
liked. Okay, I get it now.
DeWalt was really good, and that's why I bought them. But when they got bought out, it's like they hopefully their quality doesn't go down.
So here's what I'm seeing. There is a lot of movement in equity in this business. They're shifting money around a lot. I want to know what they're doing. It could be acquisitions. I'm not seeing a lot of like you have to read between the lines of the numbers to understand like what's happening, and you have to go actually look at their earnings reports to get a better play on this one. Um, there's not a lot of red flags. I would be cautious about the fact that they're from Hong Kong. You're going to pay a fee, and now there's tariffs, so you're going to pay that too. I would get a handle on how much that is and how much it would affect your dividend before you buy it or buy more of it to know what that's going to be. Now, if you already own it, you probably already know what that is. So this is kind of why we liked Honda stock. We got 45% gain or something like that when we sold them because there was a fee that we paid on it just because it was a foreign stock. And I would keep that in mind for what you're doing here. So I guess if you go, but the numbers, I mean, overall, they look pretty good. I don't think this
Yeah,
is a terrible stock. I like the products they make. I think the numbers look okay. I would want to see what how the tariffs affect them. It's a mid cap company. I'm a pretty big fan of mid cap companies. I'd keep them on my watch list. We'll probably have to dig into these guys a little bit deeper. I like just saying tendy. It's a fun thing to say because
look at the
it's
shares
tendy.
owned by institutions though.
Yeah,
0.1%.
foreign stock. The moment China decides that, oh yeah, we're going to be reciprocal on tariffs, or they say, oh, well, let's take back Taiwan. This stock is done, instantly done. Stick to domestic for a while. But my advice would be stick to domestic until we know what's going on with the global conflict. But as far as
Yeah.
everything else goes, I think China is serious about Taiwan. I don't think they're bluffing. I think they really do want it back. They're going to have to be surgical about it because there's a lot of manufacturing there. I don't think they want to destroy that. But because this company is owned by them, if I wasn't concerned about that, I would be a lot more interested. Just because it's tendy. Buy me
Andy.
tendies.
Titindi.
And they say and a lot. Look at that.
They do.
And.
It's one of
I
their
could do
favorite
control
words.
find to see how many ands there are. How many ands do we have? 53 ands. How
I
many?
think there's probably more ands than any other word in that paragraph.
Their disclaimers got more ands.
Everything. Everything's and.
A lot of and. No, I mean, if you want, we can dig into their earnings report. We can take a look at that and just see what they got to say. The numbers are
Yeah.
pretty good, though. I mean, that's a pretty good. You guys are getting better at this.
And as far as their tools are concerned, Milwaukee is excellent. I mean, it's up there with Makita as far as quality of tools. They used to be one of they're very expensive, as is Makita. Ryobi, the lower end, has got just like the largest ecosystem of tools that I've ever seen.
They
Like
do.
nobody compares to how much. Like they have a caulk gun, like an electronic battery powered caulk gun. It's whatever you want, they got. So that's kind of cool. I can't say
How
for
do you know they have a battery powered cock gun?
I've looked at the tools. When I was looking at DeWalt, I looked at all the other tools to find out what I wanted, and DeWalt landed as not the most expensive, and also durable, and they work, and they overall they had a pretty good market share. So
I
that's why I
could
went
see it.
DeWalt,
I
and
could see
yeah,
a electric or
I've
a
liked it.
powered caulk gun if you're like a plumber or something.
Yeah,
I
but I
could
was
see
looking at
that.
Ryobi, and when I looked for like battery powered caulk guns, because yeah, it just gets tough after a while of
I'm
caulking and
squeezing
doing
it,
stuff.
nothing's coming out. It's
Ryobi
like a
came up and it was like, wow,
prostate problem.
it's like $50 too. It's 34, $35, something like that. So it's not that expensive. But I don't want to have yet another battery and charger system. So
Yeah,
I heard,
that's kind of why I bought the tractors. I got tired of maintaining like six different tanks of gas. Just one,
right.
please.
And
Just one.
that's why I want the Yarbo. So because it could mow my lawn and trim and pick up the leaves and snow blow my driveway.
Yeah, I want to show people this that because this is pretty cool. If you're curious, I don't think they're public or anything yet. Maybe they are, but take a look at these guys. This is the future of your lawn care if you don't live in a farm or something or have a lot of acreage.
And it's automatic. It just goes out and does it. And
It's
there's an app where you could drive it yourself if you want. And it'll follow you around. So you could hook up like a trailer to it and put all your stuff in it, like dirt or whatever that you're going around doing yard work. It'll just follow you around as you go and do things.
can't tell that you want one of these,
I've done my
and it's better
research.
than you, Tom.
It uses GPS and you don't have to put wires down. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
PayPal Holdings. So Valley wanted me to look at what was it? PayPal. They took a big
PayPal.
hit, I guess.
Oh, of course. And so when you're doing that, I'll read Matt's little comment. I heard some saying that China hasn't harassed Taiwan since February 27th because they don't have the oil anymore to support it. Venezuela alone took out a large portion of their oil flow. Yes, that is true. That's why Taiwan and Russia were supporting Venezuela.
That's a demographic thing I don't think people are picking up on with this conflict in Ukraine. Iran was supplying drones and munitions to Russia.
Hmm.
Venezuela was supplying oil to them, a lot of it, Iran too. So when you start taking out the foundations of their machine in Russia, Russia has a lot harder time to keep going in Ukraine, and I think that's part of the strategy. I'm not sure how many people have connected those dots yet, because it's a brilliant thing. I don't think
Yeah,
that's the only reason why we're doing that, but I think it's a really darn good one,
yeah.
which
Well, it's
means
just
we're in World War III, unfortunately.
it's just like you don't attack the United States. It's not impossible, but nearly impossible to uh, have a ground war or any kind of attack on U.S. soil. Instead, you you instill doubt and uh, panic amongst their people and divide the people and make them have a civil war and just kill them from inside.
Market Edge says avoid. It means we got to look at it seriously now.
Ah,
I had a horrible thought as you were talking, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but I was thinking, our strategy in the United States is all the citizens are armed to the teeth. That's a great strategy, by the way.
yeah.
Rome was like that. Everybody had a sword. Iran's strategy was like give them all missiles. I don't think that's as good of a strategy because if you're in a really tight neighborhood and you drop a bomb on it, it's not,
Boom.
it's not gonna go. It's not gonna end well.
You're going to run out of citizens. I think their strategy is give everybody a drone.
Still
little
bad
drone they
because
can
there's
fly.
bombs on those drones. That's still bad. That's just as bad as a missile. Because what if it takes off? It's like lighting a match in a fireworks factory. Not a good idea. Take
Starts
that
flying on
outside.
its own. I mean, they are autonomous, you know? There's nobody just sitting there flying all these drones. You just give it a target, it goes out, and boom.
Warfare is so different. Can you imagine somebody who's back in the Middle Ages wearing like a suit, knight, and armor, and they got the spiky ball and chain, or they got a big lance or something, or a pole arm, and you're like, "Hey, check this drone out." Me, and guys
Drone
like,
comes and
"Oh."
just blows them up.
Totally
Dang.
different. It's kind of like Warren Buffett said. World War III is going to be fought with lasers and atomic bombs, and World War IV is going to be fought with sticks. But
That
I do
was
think
that
that
was Einstein.
was he? Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I'm mixing up my people.
Einstein said,
Warren Stein. There we go.
no, Albert Einstein said, I don't know what World War III will be fought with, but I know World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately,
Yep.
these guys, asset wise, they look okay. But back to the Venezuela thing, I think there's a foundational reason that they're doing that stuff outside of just the Ukraine war. There's American interests, and some of it's kind of shady, but some of it's, I mean, legitimately to me, makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, if you're going to stop the war in Ukraine, you got to stop the engine. It's like you're not going to get out of your car if it's in neutral and you don't have the brakes on and you just like walk out of your car. How many videos do you have in like online social media where people do that stuff and they're like, oh no, they run after their car? Like, you don't do that. So you got to stop the engine.
Yeah.
Um,
It makes
I,
sense. And of course, the problem with Trump is that he was touting himself as the war ender, right? He's the president of peace, and he wanted the Nobel Peace Prize, but you don't win a Nobel Peace Prize by starting a war with Iran.
well, you can pull my Christianity into this too and talk about why they were afraid of Jesus back when he walked the earth. They thought that was he he came to bring peace, but there was they were afraid of disruption. Next time he comes back, there will be some disruption, but
That's because he
different
was a
conversation.
20-foot tall robot and he annihilated people. That's why they're afraid of him.
If he comes back and he's a 20-foot tall robot, I'll get you the Yarbo. You can have the Yarbo, and I
Did
will
you watch?
apologize for profusely.
Have you ever watched the day the Earth stood still?
I have not.
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing.
I almost thought you were going to say Days of Our Lives. No, I have not watched that either. I have
Yes,
not.
you have.
I no, I did not. I
These
saw
are
it
the
as a
days of your
kid, and I
life.
was like, "What are they talking about?" And I remember coming back. I went to switch to Dragon Ball Z, and like 2 weeks later, I came back, and it's the same two people, and they're talking about like the same thing. I'm like, what? Why do people watch this? It's kind of like the Frieza series, as I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z, where like 80 episodes are just yelling and powering up. My wife actually
Scion,
watched it with
Super
me.
Scion, SoFi.
SoFi. Oh, again with the SoFi. We've looked at SoFi. PayPal. My problem with PayPal is they're not institutionalized enough. I have seen signs with PayPal that you can work with them on Amazon and eBay. It's not. It's kind of like my problem with Bitcoin. It's not easy enough to use them yet. They're getting there, which could be a sign that, hey, maybe this is a good buy. But look at how much cash they have.
You could pay a lot of things with PayPal. Also, they own Venmo. So PayPal and Venmo.
That's a good thing. That's what I'm saying. They're getting there. That stuff is happening. So
Now
that
they got to
could
buy
be.
Cash App, and they got to they'll own all of the apps.
They are sitting on $24 billion of cash. Is that billion? Millions? Yeah, it's millions. So they're sitting on $24 billion of cash. And if you look at
They're kind of a bank, you know?
they their operating expenses, so they have 3.25 years of operating expenses in cash. That is not good. They need to do something with that. That's now as far as like investment grade material, that's a good thing. But they need to do something with it. Like that's not, you don't want to sit on that
Like buy
cash for that long.
Cash App
Now, what I would
and
like
all
to
the other
see,
apps.
they could cut their liabilities quite a lot by that, and they could pay back shares. So that's PayPal's actually not a bad one either.
Started by Elon Musk.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
that's how he got his money to start Tesla.
I thought it was from his family.
That too.
Hmm.
Like he sold PayPal for quite a bunch of money, a few billion.
Yeah, they just started paying a dividend. Um. Yeah.
Is that just that's just one dividend, isn't it?
Look at their coverage ratio.
4,000%.
Makes sense. I mean, they got three and
What?
a half some odd years of cash.
2.48% payout ratio. What
I
is go back to the dividend. It's 1 point. It's just one. They paid
Yeah.
out once, right? Is that it?
Yeah, they just started paying it.
When was that? What was the date on that? Show more.
Uh,
March 4th. Oh yeah, that was. Holy shit. That was 2025.
hmm Yeah, 1 year ago. They just started.
So that but they haven't paid out since. So
No,
the
it's
next
it's
every
market,
year, once a year. Look at that. 2025, 2026.
and they're already large cap. I hmm, 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 hmm. I
So you
like
get
it.
one dividend a year.
I like it as a potential growth stock. It's not
Yeah.
going to be very predictable with income though. You if What I will say though is if their income stays like if you look at their operating revenue, you go down here and you look at the um come on, go to their income statement. You actually look at their revenue, their numbers are going the right way. So as far as growth goes, these guys might be a pretty good. I would classify them as a growth stock, not as a dividend paying stock, not yet, anyways. Now they could become a dividend paying stock. It's kind of like Nvidia. Nvidia is getting to this massive, massive size, and well, they got to do something with all this equity, so they're buying places. PayPal could start doing some of that, but oftentimes with acquisitions, I mean, look what AT&T went through. They bought companies after company after company and did all this stuff, and it didn't work out. So you have to get careful when you get to that size about sticking to your core business model.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say stay in your lane.
yeah, and these guys, they have a good lane. Um,
They could probably buy small banks here and there and grow.
if they say something like "We're buying Bitcoin," I'm out. No,
The
I think
entire thing.
all of Bitcoin. They have $24 billion of cash. Um, I don't want to see them pay this cash in a dividend. I want to see them do something to reduce their liabilities or their business, like make their book value look better.
Right.
Get rid of their financing. If they do something like that, I'm in. I like it. But they're not. I don't see it yet. I'm seeing good signs here. Like PayPal, they were so. In case you're wondering about the history of these guys, for a while, if you go back prior to 5 years, they were struggling for a while. And they've been yeah, reclassified, reclassified. So you can see some of that. And that was a quarterly statement. If you go out over the year statement, yeah, see, they're just coming out of that. And they had this, you can see here, repurchase retirement of stock. They are still issuing some debt. And I know you need some debt as a business to like operate. Especially if you need like lots of equipment or something, but I don't think this
Well,
is a bad play. I actually like PayPal. I
I
like
mean,
what
they
I
need
see.
servers and data centers and stuff like that to operate.
And if crypto keeps crashing, because right now, like it's cost more money to mine Bitcoin than the Bitcoin's worth. So you're going to see a lot of these data centers that mine crypto probably shift gears to either AI or something like this. This stuff's going to be on the cheap real soon. They can't keep operating for much longer like that. I feel bad for those guys, but I mean, they knew the risk. You go into a risky asset like that, you're asset like that, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
What about a stock buyback or split? That could happen. I could see that too. Coca-Cola's did that a lot when their cash got pretty high. Sophie or SoFi?
SoFi. Bitcoin was up to 72,000. It retreated back to 67,000, but they're making a case for themselves again. It'll go
Are
back
they?
up. Yeah,
They need to get above 79,000 to break even on that, on
they
the
will.
mining. Can you imagine those miners right now though?
I can
Not a good day for them. Not a good month for them. SoFi stock. This is another one they want us to look at. All right.
avoid.
Where? Oh yeah. See, notice how when Market Edge says avoid, I'm like, oh, that's a nice one.
Hmm.
Why? Market Edge is technical. We're more fundamental. Short interest, low. That's
Mid
the
cap.
coverage.
1.28 billion shares outstanding.
That's a lot of shares outstanding. They're looking for money. They don't have it yet. SoFi is a financial services company. Do you want to do the
Right.
thing? Do you want me to do the thing?
Provides various financial services in the United States, Latin America, Canada, and Hong Kong. Proper use of and. The company operates through three segments: lending, technology, platform, and financial services. It offers lending and financial services and products that allow its members to borrow, save, spend, invest, and protect money, and
And
personal loans, student loans, home loans, and related services. The company also operates Galileo, a technology platform that offers services to financial and non-financial institution, and Technisys, a
I like saying
cloud native
Galileo. It's like tendies. Galileo
Galileo,
tendies.
a cloud native digital and core banking platform that provides software licenses and associated services, including implementation and maintenance.
Hmm. Okay.
Mobile
That's
first
we got an
trading.
idea.
So
I
yeah,
don't want to
it's a
make you keep
bank
reading.
lending and a trading platform.
Their non-GAAP gross adjusted earnings 0.13. Consensus can't say. The earnings per share trailing 12 months is zero point 0.3. They are below 1, sir. Before looking at anything else, they are not doing good. They need to be above 1. Well, usually they need to be above 1, but I'll give them a little bit more. Look at
Oh,
their assets. Boom. 5 times. Liabilities. 10 times. Oh, oh, no, that's not good. Total common shares outstanding. Up 50%. That's no bueno. Okay. So they diluted 50%. Their liabilities are up 10 times. Their stuff they own is up 5 times. That is hmm,
net income.
net
They're
income.
making
Well,
money.
yeah, but they're issuing shares and stuff. So I don't believe this number. What's
Operating.
yeah, where's their operating? It's one
You
I
gotta
can
go,
never find this.
go you gotta go to the other.
Yeah, that's right. It's the reason why I struggle with this is I trade in E-Trade and E-Trade has it. It looks different on E-Trade. Cash from operations. There we go. Uh-huh. Yeah, nope, I'm out. Nope, these guys are bleeding. They're trying to raise capital to pay for something. It could be good. I mean, they could get through it, but because you do see net income coming up, but that income is not a reflection of their operations. And I draw pretty hard lines at revenue from operations unless it's an Intel situation. This is not an Intel situation, it looks like. At least I don't think it is. They're a financial company. Come on, guys. Seriously. He's providing financial services. You took part in the asset. Maybe it's an asset bubble, and you can see that with them. That's where I would caution people too. Is if you're buying a stock in like a bank or something, you're gonna see huge numbers in assets and liabilities. That's not necessarily a bad thing because banks make money on interest and late fees, unfortunately. Um,
I'm willing to guess, and this is my educated guess, that these guys are spending a buttload of cash to grow.
yeah, that makes sense to me too. PayPal looks good. If the stock dipped more, would you fill your positions?
He might fill his
Hmm,
pants.
maybe. Get that methane. Farm that
Mm-hmm.
methane. Um,
Fill your pants full of.
well, let's see. What sector do these guys they're financial services. So we were looking at banks. We did
Yeah,
sell our bank stock. We do not
we did.
have.
We do
What
not
did,
have any financial services.
yeah.
Not one.
Hmm. Let's see. Does it have, I think there's a, doesn't it tell me like where my portfolio is sectored in? I don't ever look at this in this, inside of, in E-Trade, and you guys are gonna have to tell me where this is in Schwab, but they have this like breakdown of what sectors that your businesses
Asset
are in.
allocation.
What?
Go back.
Where? What?
See
Where I
where it
actually
says
read? Oh, good
performance?
lord.
Right there.
Yeah, industry sector though. Yeah, this isn't it.
What if you go and hit the triangle?
Triangle. Is
Wait,
it
no, you
triangle?
you did it. You did it.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't tell you the business sectors though. This is what
No.
I was lamenting. Yeah. Oh,
Eh,
maybe. No, no, it's not there. Sorry. Um, I don't know. We can do it on our own. We are a industrial conglomerate that profits off of oil and war and making people sick. But we're ethical and happy and sponsored by Pfizer. Hmm. PayPal could be one. What we're trying to do for people in the portfolio, and this is kind of where it limits me a little bit, is we're trying to help people develop passive income. So I do like the stock, but what I'm trying to do is if let's say you had a job loss or something, or maybe the price of oil causes gas to go way up in cost. I'm trying to make it so that this number is consistent. And right now, PayPal is not at the point where that number is consistent. So I would contend back to my point that I think that's more of a growth stock, not a dividend paying stock. And we're looking for dividend growth. And that's consistent dividend growth. And that's harder to come by because the mantra is during a market crash, and I guess if you want to be where's that guy that looks really upset there? If you want to be that guy, pick on that guy. Don't be this guy. So if you have a growth stock, the movements of the markets are going to affect you a lot more emotionally. And if you're buying like I would rather buy Matt, you recommended that Milwaukee stock. I can't think of the name of it now. I had to pull it up.
Tendy.
Tendies,
Tendy.
gosh, it's the name I liked. I would basically say that that stock, even though it's based out of China, and I wouldn't, or Hong Kong, correct me, is more stable than something like a PayPal that is sitting on way too much cash right now. So it could be, yeah, I agree. PayPal Online could be a dividend stock, and it could be a good dividend stock. But I would have to weigh that against the validity and consistency of this income because when the market crashes, financial services companies go through bloodbaths often, especially when you're a bank and people start withdrawing, like we just said, their 401ks and people stop paying their credit cards and they're late on their mortgage. They saw a record number of deferrals of mortgages last year. Like all of that stuff compounds and affects the financial services sector a lot more so than like I don't know, Johnson and Johnson or Merck or 3M, because those companies are based on products that people really like. You can't go without a roof. Like you need a roof. But can you not go through PayPal? Yeah, you can probably not go through PayPal. Are you going to pay your bills if you don't have money or a job? No, you're probably not. So then PayPal doesn't get their money. In fact, what I would look at before buying PayPal would be Visa and MasterCard, and look at what the payment rate is. Like, look at the delinquency rate on their payments and see how long. Visa card? Goodness. I'm typing while I'm talking. Thought it was just V. Isn't it Visa? Yeah. There. Visa. Found them. There we go. I would look at the delinquency rate on Visa to see if people are still able to pay their debts, because PayPal has a good payment system and Venmo does too. So check to see that people are able to pay their bills, because if they're able to do that, then you're right, it could be a good one. But I would be a little bit more concerned about the overall economy in that case, because again, if you go back to the portfolio income at $330 a month, and I'm going to say and you need to use that money in a bad situation, you need to make sure that that money is coming from places that are going to be able to pay you in that environment. MFC? Is that like UFC except for like midgets? I shouldn't say that. It was funny to me. I'm going to get censored. I'm sorry. Sorry, YouTube. One of these days I will not be censored. MFC. Insurance? Insurance had a record number of payouts and they're leaving states last year. State Farm and Geico and all those places, especially in Florida. Texas and Florida not having good insurance time. In fact, I saw I don't remember when we talked about it, but the average insurance cost for like an average home in Florida is like 10 grand or more per year. I had a quote for a condo I was looking at, and it was like $14,000 a year for this little $450,000 condo. It's like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. MFC for Midget Fight Club, man, I would watch that. That's a power slap. I would totally watch that. That is I mean, those guys would get so rich. It would be like, yeah, you make fun of me, but I just bought like Lamborghinis for my daughter's 16th birthday. You jerk.
Who said that?
They would that'd be amazing.
Who said Midget Fight Club? Where is that?
That was me, MFC.
You
Right
said
there,
that?
MFC Financial Stock. It's like UFC except with M. It's midgets.
Yeah, but who
Or
you
it could
came
be
up with that?
manly. I could be the equitable and not offensive guy. Hopefully,
Okay.
I don't have anything against midgets. I'm sorry, all the midgets. So please don't don't come after me.
Peter Dinklage is coming for you, man.
I would love to take that guy out to dinner.
He was gonna
Fine,
crush
slap
you
me in the face, and I'll bend over.
like you did on
Start-
Elf.
and I'll buy you dinner.
You're an angry elf.
He's a good actor. This one,
He-
shares outstanding look pretty good.
Going down.
Get past my midget fight club comments first so I don't get kicked off of YouTube. Liabilities are up a little bit, assets are up a little bit less. Okay. The first rule of Midget Fight Club is you can talk about Midget Fight Club, but only a little bit. Oh, Brian, this is why we haven't been monetized. It's all me.
Yep.
It's my fault. I'm not kid friendly enough.
Surprised we haven't been sued yet.
Hey, man, if Y-Files can get out there and don't sue me, please. If Y-Files can get out there and they can do okay, we can do it too. We are not your financial advisors on that note. Total operating income. That ain't good. Operating expenses, that's better. That's actually better than the drop in their operating income.
It's going back up though. Come on.
Yeah. And by the way, this is like the slow, nerdy, and lazy version of Jim Cramer's lightning round with stocks. Jim's like, bad, good, and then he presses buttons. I can't do it that fast. I have too many
No,
words. Hmm. Cash from investing. They doing something. They building stuff.
they're investing.
Yes, they are. Literally made me laugh out loud. One guy, see, Brian, I have succeeded in life. I had made one guy laugh out loud one time. I'm going to go tell my wife, and she's going to roll her eyes.
I think he was talking about Mead Man.
Oh. Hey, I was
Uh,
funny too.
look him just go. Oh, just got so deflated.
Story of my life, man. It's like you're telling this big story, and kids are picking somebody for sports or something, and you think they're talking to you, and it's like, oh, or women are looking at you in the gym or something. You're like, yeah, yeah, I work out, and then they walk past you. Oh, hey, I'm like, oh, oh, you weren't even looking at me. I need to put my glasses back on. It's kind of deflating, depressing.
Okay, Midget Fight Club was good. I laughed too.
Yeah. You know, I tell jokes like that to my wife, and she's like, oh, okay. You're not even
Or
laughing. You're not even
she's laughing on
saying.
the inside.
Yeah, she's like, I find it humorous. Like she's trying to encourage me. Like it's a sympathy thing. Like you're
She's
not
patting on
helping.
your
Stop
head,
talking.
patting on the head at the same time.
Yeah,
That's good.
it
Good, Tom.
feels like that, you know? It's just like, oh, you're a good little boy. It's okay. You're really funny. No, we
Right
really
along.
love you. It's like, come on, man. Net change in cash. That's I don't see this as a concern that that's dropping because they're investing cash. Um, and I mean, they're doing something. This is very indicative of a company who's they're burning through money for with purpose.
And
Not
it's
that
not a
that's bad.
huge drop in cash, and it's plus it's
No.
$18 billion.
I'd say 20% swings usually are okay. Usually. And boy, but their insurance. Maybe they're buying a bunch of bonds, 4% bonds. But because we're dividend dudes, I got to look at the dividends. 4%. Look at that consistency. It's like my climbing uphill snow and the snow both ways to do month end, even though
Yeah,
I'm inside at my office.
nearly double digits every year.
Yeah. And the other numbers don't look too bad. Payout ratio and dividend coverage ratio, those are actually pretty healthy numbers. I don't think this one's that bad either. So we found two ones. PayPal's a pretty good one. And I liked this one too. This one's all right too. I was looking at Visa, I think. V. Like when a pretty girl keeps looking in your direction and you feel really good about yourself, but then you realize that she's looking at the clock and the wall behind you.
Yep.
So here's the lesson: stand by more clocks. Your chances are better. I'm gonna go to the gym with my wife and be like, "What are you
Just
doing?"
wear a clock.
The problem with the gym is it's all buff dudes that we go to. They all make me look and feel like I'm just this weak little nerd.
Just wear a big old clock like Flavor Flav.
Yeah, but then they'd be looking at me like I'm some sort of like cosplay weird guy.
But then at least they'd be looking at you.
And then there'd be this one really nerdy girl. It's like, oh, I got one just like that. Hey, whoa.
Well, look at that with the
Unless you're into
dividend
that.
increases.
Yeah, these guys are.
Visa.
It's a good sign that they can keep up with it.
400% at 23.
That's a warning. So that's a good payout ratio, though. But if we look at 4% payout, 400% coverage, and we look at their cash. Tendies and Midget Fight Club. Woohoo! Net change in cash.
They got cash.
They do. Why? That's a lot of cash for them.
I would say 30% interest. That's why.
Yeah, that's one thing that credit card companies have going for them is that, if you don't pay, that interest builds up and they just get more money.
More money, more problems.
Operating expenses have doubled. Oh,
Total income is up.
it hasn't doubled though.
Operating income.
Net income, yeah,
Net income doubled
they're
almost.
planning for something. I before I buy PayPal, I'd want to look at Visa and Mastercard and the overall state of like the asset bubble that we're in right now. I don't think PayPal is going to be affected the same way. They're in a little bit of a different space,
Yeah.
but it's the finance category. So if people sell finance categorized ETFs or index funds, they would get hit regardless. This is kind of like Brian's point that you made about Nvidia. Would you say the
Oh, that you don't have to buy Nvidia, even if you're like against it. If you buy an ETF, look inside it because many ETFs contain Nvidia. So you're
right?
buying it no matter what. And so they're getting their money no matter what.
Right. That's why, yeah, and that's why we don't want to short them either, because anytime somebody puts money into a 401k like a Vanguard large cap, Nvidia's in the large cap, so that
They're,
every single person in the United States is betting against you every time they get paid.
they just don't know it.
It's a little tiny bit, but they're all betting against you. And then there's the Fed and inflation and all those things. So I think the takeaways that I have are we need to look at Visa. We need to look at MasterCard. We need to look at Midget Fight Club and PayPal. I like the attendees though. It's kind of like I'm going to look at Milwaukee a little bit more too. I like. I want to know what the tariff is, so that's probably something else we should probably take a look at too. We have 2 more weeks. I
Do we have
don't
to
want
buy
to get
something?
yeah, I don't want to get too diversified because if we do, then we can't really pay attention to what's going on in the businesses. You just become an index fund at that point. You don't really get those super good gains. So last month we bought Pfizer, and they're already starting to recover. But we have 8,000 in them. So if we were looking at cost basis, we would have to compare Visa, Mastercard, Tendies, and the other guys to this. So the ones that we could buy, I would put under $5,000. And in that list, there's only two, Rumble and United Health, that are really losing any money. Now remember, all these other ones pay dividends too. I mean, we could buy Rumble too. Oh, they really are down.
Yeah, Rumble is down.
Yeah, you
Like
probably buying at a good time.
I'm buying more. One
Go
thing
Rumble.
Rumble has, or not Rumble, one thing going back to PayPal is I just checked to make sure you can buy and sell crypto on it too. So they got into that game.
Oh, crypto had a big problem for a long time where you couldn't exchange it anywhere. Um,
Right.
that's a way that you could.
That was back before there were exchanges and you had to have the hardware locker for it.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I'm picking up that. By the way, in case you're curious, here's the global economy by purchasing. I think this is a stupid thing. By purchasing power parity, GDP. Say that 5 times fast. Purchasing power parity. But here's a nice little chart, and it's got all the world's economies, and notice China.
China.
I've never seen it visualized like this, where China is actually larger than the United States. Keep in mind, we only have under 400 million people. They got over a billion, so there is that.
Almost two.
Yeah, I want to believe, and Rumble is like an altruistic play for me too, because I want to see more competition in social media space, so that the freedom of the thought does not become like a Zerg hive mind where everybody thinks and says exactly the same thing. And if you fall out of line even for just a little bit, all of a sudden you get shut down, you lose like your reputation overnight, you get canceled. Like there needs to be the ability to have civil discourse. Like you need to be able to disagree. Like Charlie Kirk and what was
Without
that
shooting
guy?
anybody.
Matt was the liberal news guy. I can't think of the guy's name, but Charlie Kirk did a debate with a guy about whether or not Jesus and God was real, and they were respectful. They even said, "Are we still friends?" Yes, we're still friends at the end of this. That needs to happen in a good culture, and if it does not happen, everything falls apart. You become an like what's different from us from North Korea at that point. So Rumble to me is like save it because there is a lot of bias right now in social media, and there's a lot of control too. In fact, if you talk to AI, if you just go to AI search and say, "Hey, like is corporate America manipulating the narrative?" And it'll tell you absolutely. Now, if you find it where it's not doing that, then show me. I saw that as Asmongold. Oh, yeah. Is that the
Yep.
big one you were talking about, Brian?
Matt Walsh.
Matt
Yeah.
Walsh? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I do. I feel Rumble could be now. If you look at YouTube stock and you look at their market cap, they're around like 60 billion or something like that. I don't, I don't know what that is now, but Rumble's not even close to that. YouTube
Uh,
channel.
no, YouTube is
It's part of Google. Uh-oh.
okay.
What symbol is it, Brian? You cut out for a second.
Oh, I was saying YouTube doesn't have a ticker symbol. I don't believe, because they're part of Google.
Alphabet.
Yeah.
We found it once where it was directly tied to. It was about $63 billion. And I can look it up next week if you guys want. I'll have it ready for you. If we look at Rumble by comparison, if you're just looking at straight up numbers, there are microcaps. So they're at 1.9. If you multiply that by 10, you're at 19. Then you multiply that by 3, you're getting pretty close to YouTube. Now, do I think Rumble will get there? I would love to see them get there, but I think that's pretty high stakes. Like I don't think because YouTube has Google, right? And they're already massive by comparison. I don't know if Rumble will get that far, but I think they'll do pretty well. So
Well, I think YouTube has made a lot of stumbles as of recently. I mean, I think they're so huge that they're not going to be taken down anytime recently, but like a lot of big creators are kind of angry at them because of how they're being promoted on YouTube and the loss of revenue.
well, YouTube can press a button and all of a sudden you disappear.
Right.
Like you're just gone.
Well, I mean, to be fair, any platform can do that, right? If you were the administrator of a platform, you could do that with anybody.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. We had a IT help desk ticket earlier this week. It's like, I don't want to have IT. Like, why does IT need to see what's going on my phone? And this was because it was a multi-factor request. Like, you need multi-factor. It's like, where have you been, dude? Like, it's been 25 years that, like, when I started working for IBM, they made me sign this thing like, you do not own this software. We own this software, and we see everything you do. And that was on a Lotus Domino server.
Yeah. Like, do you not connect to a bank?
That was 26 years ago. Come on, guys. It's like, seriously. We still have customers that insist on faxing. I'm like, are you kidding me? They think it's more secure than encrypted email. It's like, how? I grab a butt set. It's actually called a butt set. I can plug it into the phone line and I can listen and whistle back and the fax will answer me. Like, come on, people. This IT is such a weird thing, but like in this world, yeah, you could, as a social media platform, show people what you want them to see, and that is absolutely happening on YouTube and Facebook, because they won't get paid if they don't show you what you want to see. And that's what's happening in the news right now too. Like, they don't click on dividend dudes because we're not exciting. They click on, like, Trump said this thing that pissed off some other guy, and like the stuff that's sensational, the stuff that actually sells and makes them money. If they don't make money, they're out of a job. So everything is really polarized. This is why we like this place. This ground.news place. At least I like them anyways.
I mean, even ground.news has its problems that I found, but for the most part, it's a good place to get your information.
The YouTube requiring an ID, that is awesome, I think.
So, Matt, if you look at that, Roblox is starting to do that now because it's developed for kids, right? There's a lot of kids on it, and there's a lot of predators that go after those kids. So, Roblox is already starting to do that, and there's a couple other places that are doing that where you have to actually have a picture of yourself and a photo ID of some kind to show that you're one an actual person, two you're the age that you should. Of course, there's ways of getting around that, but it's a good first start. The only problem I have with this is how do you protect the child's identity if you put their picture out there, right? So
Can't. Not
yeah,
anymore. It's sad. I would. I clicked on the super helpful Pokemon calls out the White House over game theme mega posts. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody on the right cares. There's no articles, but people on the left care. Why do they care about I mean, seriously? You're focusing on Pokemon? Look at all these places that are covering Pokemon. They're trying to make sure that they stay in business. And this is the biggest problem where like you need the ability to have discourse and like I think the whole system is broke because it's based and biased financially towards censorship, towards controlling the narrative, and that's why it's so hard for people like who sit on one side of the aisle to go talk to the people on the other side of the aisle, and it just makes it worse. They just get super divided and nobody's talks anymore. Like it's back before technology was this massively cool thing where I can stream on a platform and reach millions of people all across the planet. People had to go out in person and talk to somebody else. There's a lot more nuance in voice, and when you're actually in front of them, you piss them off, they're going to punch you, especially if you say midget fight club.
and you keep saying it.
I keep saying I'm going to get myself in trouble. They're going to find like, oh yeah, you're a nerd. Well, yeah, okay, I know that. I think
Tell you,
so. On the YouTube thing, did you have something you want to say, Brian? Before I keep going,
I was just gonna say, I tell you, Peter Dinklage is gonna come and kick your ass.
I hope not. I hope he lets me buy him dinner.
We're little people.
He's gonna take me to a place that's like $300 and just like enjoy slowly every single bite. I'm like, oh, that was a $10 bite. Oh, there
And then
goes my dividend check.
he'll leave and make you pay the bill for calling him a midget.
I would pay it anyways. Just being sorry. So what I was gonna say in YouTube, we actually when we started, we felt like somebody threw a tarp over our channel. We thought that we were awesome, and it was actually that I sucked. And that's like a life lesson for everybody there that finance isn't fun and exciting. Anyways, now that we have the violin past us, the we sponsored like our channel. We did all these promotions. We got a couple thousand subscribers from doing this. YouTube has started cracking down. I think this is amazing. So good for YouTube. They're cracking down on these faceless channels and AI bots that come in and storm channels. So like all of these accounts that aren't actually accounts, they're closing. And I had the YouTube AI analyze our channel. And when we did our advertising, out of the 17 subscribers that we lost for that particular period, we gained some too. But I think it was 15 of them were bots. Like they weren't even real people. So you think like, oh, I'm gaining all this, like we're actually getting somewhere, and you're actually not. It's not even real people. So it's I think it's right for them to do that. What I'm more concerned about is just the way our culture feeds on sensationalism, and that feeds a lot of this stuff too with stocks. Like people, when I see people look at these portfolios and they buy nothing but a single ETF or something, it's like, good Lord, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing, which is why we keep telling people make sure you have a good financial advisor.
They're
But
diversified. It's an ETF. Look at all the stocks that are inside it.
yeah, it's like the guy who told me he's diversified and all he does is buy like crypto. So you buy one crypto and then you buy like an oil company and then you buy a bank and then you buy Midget Fight Club and then you buy I gotta stop saying that. Uh, but like you buy actual companies that are diversified.
Come on, I bought Visa and MasterCard and American Express and Chase, and
Wow,
I'm diversified.
They're all they're all banks, but I'm diversified. I have an ETF with banks. That's something I would caution people against. Some of the tech heavy ETFs that are out there. There's some of them are all like 80% tech. What is this one? Democratic strategist. Oh, this is about Omar. Then no wonder it's all Republican covered. Omar should quit Democrats and start her own party. Oh, that would be fun to, well, maybe not see if she actually got elected because that would be a giant problem.
They could
But
call it the Somalian Republic Party.
it's kind of like our story about watching Congress get in UFC because like Trump sanctioned it inside of like they could actually do a UFC inside the ring. Can you imagine a bunch of old guys, old attorneys? Like Bernie Sanders picks up his cane or his walker and throws it at somebody, and it doesn't even go like 2 feet. Eh, just falls there. No, this one you can really start to see if you look at this site, this Ground.News site, what each side cares to show their audience, and it's really sad. It's really sad.
He just wants her to leave his party. Like,
He's not buying her dinner, is what you're saying.
no, go. You should go start your own. Just stay out of mine.
I had somebody tell me that once, like, you really should start your own company, and I didn't realize it until later. Like, they were actually insulting me.
I told you to do that.
Oh, no, that wasn't you. That was somebody else. Thanks, by the way. That was so nice. I feel so much. I feel so loved.
What I said was, you're not going to be happy unless you're the owner of your own company, and you should go start your own, because then you could tell others what to do, and nobody can tell you that you can't do anything.
That's a lie. You start your own company, everybody becomes your boss. Like everybody tells you what to do. You don't have any say. Like you think you do, but no, 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 no. No, you say one wrong thing, you get fired. That's how that works. So Matt said the thing I don't like about Dave Ramsey, he discourages individual stocks. He's all about mutual funds. I would contend, I've been called
He's
Dave
right.
Ramsey's poster boy. I would contend that Dave Ramsey is probably right.
For the average person.
For the average person, because the average Joe, when most people like we would talk about a stock and somebody would comment on a stock in our comments like, why is anybody interested in this company? Like this company is bleeding. They don't have any money at all. And and we kept getting comments like that over and over and over again from these companies that were just like, I don't even know how they went public. Like they just went public so they could raise money and then go bankrupt. Like that's how bad it was. But the average person, like what we're doing in our portfolio, they probably don't either A, have the time, B, the fortitude, or C, even the desire to do this stuff. And this is why he says it. And most people on average, I mean, if you looked at our portfolio, I think the average, like what is the average?
Well, what do you say? VOO and SCHD and chill?
Yeah, I mean, the average balance is very low. So the average balance, including all the rich people out there, it's much lower. So the median balance is much lower, 34,000. This is AI. AI is probably wrong, but that's from NerdWallet. NerdWallet knows everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and CNN's in there too. So I would state that like the mutual funds for most people would work, and I would also contend that for most people, in a 401k where it's tax advantage, that's going to help you a lot more. If you get past that point, then yes, individual stocks will help you a lot more, but you really need to be an active investor, not a passive one, in order for that to make sense. And sometimes, like I said, the people who don't have the fortitude for this, they can't see the macroeconomics. And that's where it plays a big part. They just see the returns they have on social media and they say this, hey, I bought, like, it's not hard for you to go to look at Motley Fool and say, hey, we called this stock and it was up 5,000%. And look at this next great thing. Like the stock market has no shortage of gambling and get rich quick. Like there is so much of that out there that when he says mutual fund, at least you know that it's managed by somebody who's licensed. Yeah, at least you know that there's
they might not be great at their job, but at least they're licensed.
Yeah, like there's actual people there that know how to do some of the thing that they're supposed to be doing. So I would contend that like for most people, he's probably right.
Right.
And I would say that if you want to get outside that, the book Intelligent Investor, Benjamin Graham, it's been updated. It's probably one of the best books about investment that's out there. They do say that if you do have the fortitude for it, you will do a lot better with individual stocks. But
A-
look at their
And
channel.
when he say it's been updated, it was updated in 2004. So keep that in mind.
That's how infrequently this stuff changes. Like this stuff
But it was
doesn't.
written in like 73.
Yeah, it's not like the world of finance doesn't change overnight. Thank God for that. Because you imagine me trying to do month end if it changed every
Right.
if it changed
And
every week.
that's why you watch channels like ours, so that you could learn to do these things for yourselves, learn how to get into a stock and what to look for to get a good value-based stock that pays you a good dividend.
Both of them are idiotic, but this loophole never ends. Bots create deteriorating people on the internet, meaning entertainment, but reality companies like Facebook, X, IG do have buttons that get rid of bots. Yeah, they do, but they're like you said, they just keep coming back. They just keep making accounts. Are mutual funds taxed the same as qualified dividends? Ooh, that's a good question. You want to cover that, or you want me to?
Go ahead.
Dang it, Brian. It depends on what you're getting. If it's a mutual fund inside of a Roth, a 401k, a retirement plan, no, up to a certain point. You can contribute, like with profit sharing, up to $69,000 into a retirement portfolio. It's not going to get taxed. A mutual fund that pays dividends in a brokerage account, you will. Now, it depends on the kind of mutual fund. An ETF, you're going to pay ordinary income. So you're going to pay your full income rate taxes on that ETF. REITs are the same way. If it's a qualified like Vanguard or Fidelity kind of a fund or a Schwab fund that is designated as a 401k type, you will not pay ordinary income. You'll pay the qualified income, but you're still going to pay taxes. There's a very few select group of vehicles that allow you to get investment gains, like 529 accounts or something like that, where you don't pay taxes on the gains themselves. Now, it's not a matter of like, oh, I'm never going to pay taxes. You're going to pay the taxes. It's just, are you going to pay now or are you going to pay later? And trust
Right.
me, you're going to pay.
You'll eventually pay, even with your 401k. It's
they
deferred
they will
taxes.
make you pay.
Yep.
So it depends, and this is where, like, if you look at our income, $300 a month or $330, whatever that is, that number there you go, and you look at the actual transaction history, and I got to go back some time. We'll just do the previous year, all. Yeah, we'll do all. Why not? All, yay! Notice how it says qualified dividends. Buy, sell, buy, stock merger. But these are all mostly qualified dividends. I'm trying to find an Alley Capital. They should be ordinary income, but I don't see them. There they are, cash dividends. So an Alley Capital paid a cash dividend. It was $66, but for me on tax time, that is paid ordinary income. Now at my bracket, that's like 37, 39%, which is ridiculous. So you got to take $66 and cut almost 40% out of it. So that's like $20 for me. So that's really only a 40% or $40 dividend, whereas Campbell Soup here, it's qualified. I only pay 15, 25%. I think she said I was at 24% this year, but so you really need to keep in mind what you're buying and why. These investment vehicles that people have, where you've got a 401k or you've got like an HSA fund or a 529 account or a Roth, they're very good vehicles if you're in a high tax bracket. If you're in a low tax bracket and you're bleeding on the edge of like, I need cash, that's where this portfolio will really help you. Because if you have a car that, let's say your brakes go out in June, my brakes go out, $520 for like a small car will probably buy me the parts at least. So I can at least fix those problems that like happen in life situations that come up. But you're not going to be able to do that if it's in a 401k. I got a ton of money in the 401k. I can't touch it. I may not even live because I mean, if this midget guy comes and kicks my butt, then I might die. So he
You
might.
you technically can touch it if you need it, because you could take a loan from your 401k, not advised, because you're messing with the compounding interest of that 401k. But you could take a
Yes.
loan for up to half of what your principal is. So, and depending on, I guess, your company, but uh, yeah. So you could take a loan, then you could have a payback schedule. You're gonna right now pay back about 9%. That all goes back into your 401k, so it makes up some of that compounding interest that you're missing out on. But like I said, unless you absolutely need it, don't, because you are killing your final profit from that.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that your future self will be in as good of a financial position as your current self. That's
Right.
something I tell people. The older you get, the harder it gets to pivot. You become more like the Titanic and not a little speedboat
Yep.
because you gain stuff and it becomes hard, especially when you have a family because it gets a lot harder. This article is very interesting. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
clicking around, and this highlights the point that we were saying. If you want to fight the Ukraine war, take out the foundation. There you go. There's some evidence towards that. Do you? What were you gonna say, Brian?
Do, is just Valley. Do you guys believe this nonsense lie that rich people use debt to own expensive stuff like mansion, private jets, because that sounds ludicrous? I want to know how they're pulling it off of other than realist.
Yes, they do. That is how the stock market works.
Mhm.
That is the stock market in a nutshell. If you want to get a loan for a house and you live in the United States, you have to go to a bank, and a bank is going to view you as you incorporated as a business. And they're going to make sure that you, Inc., can afford to pay for that house. And if you can't, they're going to make sure that you can pay for it long enough to give them equity into the house where they can short sale it or they can sell it and still make money once they get you out of the house. Like their job on the credit rating is not to make sure that you are okay. It's to make sure that they make money. When
Right.
and you have to pay that back. Like you're going to lose the house and get evicted, or like they're going to come after you. You got to file bankruptcy. In a stock market, I'm going to go back to Anali Capital. I'm sorry, Anali. I own you. Please don't do bad. I own a lot of you personally. But when you're a stock and you need to raise money for something, think Shark Tank. I'm oversimplifying this. There's more to it than this. So don't come at me and like kick me in the rear or something. But you see these issuance. What that means is they're issuing shares of the business. They're saying, I need to raise equity. I need a loan for something, and this is what I'm going to do with that money. I'm going to Shark Tank my company, and I think that my company is worth this. And I think it was Deroni. Let's see if they're still there. Yeah, here's a company that just did that. So here's Deroni. Their investment is now open. This company is going to try to do drone-based flight, and they are trying to raise equity. They will say, if you give us money, we will give you shares of our business so that we can take that money, put it into the business, and grow the company. The difference between a bank loan and a stock is the stock does not have to pay you back most of the time. Most of the time, they don't have to pay you back. So, yes, rich people do absolutely get a lot of debt, leverage that debt, and use that debt to buy big fancy things. I have been
Right.
offered millions of dollars of loans that I could do the same thing. Instead, I somehow think it's better for my financial and sanity health to take care of people like Brian.
It's the Robert Kiyosaki debt is good stance.
Yeah, even Warren Buffett said that if he could buy $60 billion of the housing market, if somebody came out to him and offered him that much in real estate, he'd buy it right away. And I don't think he's wrong. That's a really good way to make a lot of money really quick. And Robert Kiyosaki brought this up a bunch of times where he's like, people don't understand how the financial markets work. And he was talking to, I think it was Graham Stephan. It's like people just don't understand how this system works, and I
Right.
would contend that he's right. People don't understand how the system works. Look at Elon Musk. He's not a super great stock picker. He's not. That's not what he does. He did Tesla and SpaceX and now X. He raised equity for those businesses and built the business, and now he's the world's richest man because the shares of those business are worth a lot of money. This is
Right.
why when you see like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg lost $43 million today. Did he really lose it? No, his shares were worth less because people were selling the shares, so then he was worth less. Same thing with my company. If my company decided that the shares went down in price, I would be worth less. I have 100 shares. It's nothing. It's not. I'm no Elon Musk. Not even close. Not even in the same league. In fact, I'm not even in the park. I'm somewhere in a different country. But anyways, that's kind of. I hope that explains it. But yeah, I mean that is basically the American financial system in a nutshell. So imagine this is the only country that has the central bank and financial system. I'm going to speak American positively here, where you can do that. You can say, I have an idea. I think it's going to do well. It's the pet rock. And I want that idea to succeed. And I think it could be a great thing for humanity in general. You take that idea to the market, people can crowdsource, fund you in the stock market, and you can become rich. You can't do that in North Korea. You can't do that in China, not easily, not without the government's permission. And most countries, like the United States, is the only one that you can really do this easily. Even Europe has a lot of restrictions and a lot of taxes where it's really, really hard to run a company, almost detrimentally so. So yeah, I mean, this is why we say watch the Fed, watch what the Fed does, because their job is to keep the United States dollar as the reserve currency so that all of the banks can keep that lending and keep that system going. If you were a landscaping guy and you said, hey, I've got a leaf backpack blower, I got a little push mower, but I want to scale this thing up, a bank, just like if you went public in a stock market, can give you that money so that you can hire people, get more leaf blowers. So your equity becomes other people's shared profit or loss, depending upon how good you are at it. There you go. That is Stock Tips with Tom, the 45-minute edition.
And that's how a bill becomes a law. I think we lost 3 viewers because you said that.
Actually, we gained a few.
Give me an example. Let's say
surprised.
Brian has 1 million on investments. There's no way he can go to the bank, ask if they can do swap asset investment to cash. Still, IRS will still come in after him.
They don't come after your assets, they come after your income.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how much you made. It's not so like let's say you take out a bunch of loans and you have payments on loans. So they care about you being able to pay the loan. I'll give a quick example. Unless you want to do it, Brian. You want to do it?
For the debt, what I was going to say was to oversimplify it. Rich people use their debt as leverage to gain more things. So you could use that as to get a loan to start a business. You could use that leverage to do the things to get you the expensive things. Like you don't use debt to buy a jet. Generally, the jet becomes the debt. So
I can give you a good example too.
yeah,
I like that. That's a good point, Brian. If I wanted to scale my business, so right now I told you my largest bill right now is taxes, and it is by far. I could take out a big loan that I could make payments on for a long period of time, and that loan and the payments on that would make it so that my business is no longer very profitable. So then, therefore, I have a business that's either flat on equity. I probably wouldn't do negative equity. I see businesses go negative, but I would be flat on equity or negative on equity. And all of a sudden, this super profitable business is now not profitable, so the IRS doesn't tax it. I'm able to pay my loans, and all of a sudden, I got $10 million. Everybody in my company has seen these offers like, hey, you can take out $3 million or like whatever it is they want from our business. And I could do that. I would have payments. My business wouldn't be as profitable, but I'm sitting on a huge pile of cash. And you can do that even as a small company. You don't need to be a very big company to make that happen. I would be very cautious about that. Dave Ramsey's got a very good story about what happened to him and how he went bankrupt in real estate because of debt leveraging. So it's a very risky way of growing. I
right.
tend to grow with cash only because I want to learn from their mistakes. But that's just me.
You eventually have to pay all this debt. If you can't,
Yeah.
then you gotta sell all the assets to pay for the debt, and then you're back to square one. You have zero money because you went bankrupt.
If you want a good example of a business that is going to have a problem with that, look no further than IEP. It's an REIT that I didn't call this out. Somebody else called them out where they are using current debt obligations. They're paying them with issuing shares. So big bill later to pay the people that own the stock now. And you can see that right here where it's been a problem. And this is what happens long term when you do that. Come on. Come on, Internet. Watch, it's the guy from IEP watching right now. He's just telling me, hey, you jerk. Don't tell him what I'm doing. No, businesses do this all the time. I don't think
Right.
this is not, I'm not picking on just them.
It was
I
just
really,
there. What'd you
really
do?
can see it. I don't know. Probably is the guy watching. They don't want me to see it. No, but look at them over the last 5 years. I mean, they went from $60 a share down to under, what are they at now? 8? So, yeah.
Time to buy.
You are worth 12% of what you were worth. They might pay a 13% dividend. So 13 times 5, actually it wasn't 13. I think, are they even at 13 anymore? What are they at now? 24. Wow. No, they're not paying that. They're paying it with equity. Oh, something's wrong with my Schwab. My Schwab don't like me. It's probably been
Parts
too
where
long.
banks allow a loan over $800,000 to get 1 million asset. Is that real? Because debt would be owned by party that got issue. So if he uses 800,000, the debt triple because the amount interests are too high.
In comes the Fed.
Yeah. So if you're getting $800,000 on $1 million worth of assets, yeah.
Yeah, that is rain. I got my tractor sitting out there. Thankfully it's got a cab, but I'm like, oh, I was gonna wire some stuff with it tonight, but I don't think I can now. I didn't know it was gonna rain this much, and it's raining hard. No, do you want to comment on that, Brian?
It was thunderstorming here earlier.
Uh,
A winter thunderstorm. Yay.
yeah. Welcome to Michigan. Pure
So
Michigan.
I'm guessing it's coming over Lake Michigan, and so it's hitting you. It'll probably hit me in like 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yay.
So the part where banks allow a loan over 800,000, those are called jumbo loans, first of all, to get $1 million in assets. Yes, that's real. Here's why I would contend that. Look at the real estate market pricing from 2014 till today, even 2019 until now. They came after Trump because of his overvaluing his assets. And I think it was Mr. Wonderful, Shark Tank said, everybody does that. And he's not wrong. Everybody does that. When you buy a house and you want to list it for sale, you're going to sell it for more than what you bought it. Hopefully, most people want to do that. They think it's worth more. So if that's what's happening, banks will over leverage people because what do they care about? They care about two things. They care about being able to make money on whatever it is that they're lending you. That's the first thing they care about consistently.
Interest.
And then, oh, go ahead.
Interest
Interest,
on
yeah.
that.
And then two, they care about like you being able to actually make the payment. Like, can you make this thing happen? Because if you can't make the payment, they lose money. And if it's a bank, most banks are public, like Bank of America, they have to respond to the board and the shareholders. Everybody blames the CEOs. It ain't the CEOs, it's the board and the shareholders. Because the board can just fire the CEO.
Yeah.
The
And if you get a
sense-
lot of that, then you get what happened in 2008.
Yep. And there was a lot of that in 2008. And I would contend that the CEOs, yeah, they get paid a lot. And that's the problem with the board. The board needs to fix that. Not every CEO is like that. That's a red flag. If you see a CEO not even realizing how much he makes and it's in the hundreds of millions, probably not worth that much. But that's just me. Even if I managed my own fund, like if Brian and I had a stock ticker symbol and Brian and I were managing this thing under symbol TDD, I would say that I wouldn't want, I mean, our fees would be super low. Like the intention is to, we want to help people, and we have enough where it's not like, I don't know. I don't get off on buying another yacht. I might sponsor the MFC club in the White House, though.
We should start
I might
that.
do that.
We're going to start it.
I'm gonna start the whole thing.
We're going to bring back midget tossing.
That's the thing that the people have lost is the sense of humor.
Right.
You can make fun of me. I don't care. It's
We could
okay.
laugh at ourselves. Yeah. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We're talking Robert Kiyosaki again. Said this stuff too much, making unrealistic claims that was hard to grasp because if it's this simple, it's still terrifying. Debt is terrifying, yes.
Yes, it
And
is.
Robert Kiyosaki has changed his tune over the last what decade, maybe 8 years, somewhere.
Yeah. I've seen
Because
him in
he
person.
used to be reasonable. If you read his book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it doesn't it discuss this like not at length the way he does now. He changed his tune from what he was saying, fiscal responsibility and investing and all that stuff, for some reason. I
I
know
would
you've got theories, Tom, on
yeah.
why he did that, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
what he's peddling now isn't for the average person.
What I would say to mention that, because I've seen him in person, and this is a long time ago, back when he was still talking responsibility. I would contend that I think he was threatened because he said, I don't want to say this on stage. He goes, but they're telling me don't tell them that because you'll give power back to the people. Like he said that. I'm like, what? What did that? I didn't even know what he was talking about. But now that like I see the way the system works, if you ever see Brian and I become clickbaity, then somebody threatened me. No, I don't know. I don't think we're saying anything that would be out of the ordinary. I mean, we're encouraging people to invest in corporations. So okay, but he did change. His tune did change quite a bit. Why that may be? Maybe he wanted another yacht. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know him. So maybe it was that he
Maybe he
really was
sold out.
threatened.
Who
Maybe he did.
knows? Yeah.
I don't think I will sell out.
But you are right,
If I do,
Valley. What
slap
he's
me. Bring that midget. Come have him slap me. I'll know what that means if that happens. I'm like, oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. Again.
it is unrealistic, and the average person should not do that because you will probably go like uh, short selling and all that stuff. As far as gambling, the average person shouldn't do that stuff because you're going to lose.
Yes, you
But
will.
that in itself isn't a terrible thing. How he leveraged that couldn't possibly pay back. That's terrifying. You're right.
Oh, look at this one.
I'd rather not have any debt.
No, and our company is based on no debt for the worst case scenario, just in case. Same
Yeah.
thing with like the dividend dudes and why we base the income on dividends themselves because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. I mean, if China really does hit Taiwan and it's serious, that's a bad scenario, and you don't want to be in a situation where somebody could hold something over you. And I've had people argue with me about this, like, oh well, if I own car payments, I can use that car as leverage. I'm like, okay, first of all, a car is a depreciating asset. Secondly, you're not gonna be able to hold it over them. They're gonna send repo man and take your car from you, and you're still gonna have to pay them. Don't tell me that you can use the asset that you don't actually own as leverage over somebody who actually owns it. Like that's not how that works. So would banks, and we do have to get going, guys. So just to let you know, I do have to wrap up. It's been a while, and I think Brian's bladder is bigger than mine. His face isn't super red, but just so you know, this will probably be our last question. So banks would take unreleased probabilities to give away real assets. What I mean is, both of you would rather have big mansion over unreleased. No, I would not have a big mansion. You got to pay taxes on that. The more stuff you have, the more cash you have, the more inflation eats it, and the more maintenance that you have on things. Bible says, "Build up your treasures in heaven," and I believe that you do that because if you don't do that, you're gonna have problems. More, in fact, anybody who's rich, look at Charlie Munger. He mentioned the people that he knew that bought big mansions and a lot of stuff with that. He said that most often they are more I'm sorry, they're more unhappy with the big stuff than they were before they had it. So
Yeah.
like they're less happy having all that big stuff than they were when they had it. Financially, yeah, you could have the big mansion. Let's say you bought it in 2010, you leveraged yourself when the housing market was bad, you used payments for 6 years and it doubled in value. Yeah, then you really could make money, but I would contend that it would be really hard to predict those kinds of things. Like, did you know last year at this time that we were going to attack Iran, that they wouldn't negotiate with us? Did we know that the pandemic was going to happen in 2020? Did we know about the World Trade Centers? Did we know, well, the housing market was kind of a thing in 2008. We knew that. But did we,
We didn't know it was going to be as that bad, though.
right. You don't know those things. So I would say that it is best first to be out of debt, kill the debt, be tax advantaged as much as you can, and get diversified income with as many passive income streams as you can. That's one of the reasons why this channel's here.
Right.
So,
The mansion won't disappear unless it burns down, right? Or somebody takes it. But if it's even if it's paid off, there's property taxes and
insurance
electricity
too.
and utilities, insurance and stuff that you have to pay for that each year. And if you can't pay for that, then your mansion will disappear.
Yeah, the
So
assumption that I can take a big loan and get a mansion is just a false one because you can't, like Brian just said, you can't, if you can't keep up with that stuff, your $10 million
yeah.
mansion becomes a $3 million mansion really fast, especially if you got
But
a
if you
roof
have the
leak.
means to keep up with all that and it doesn't hurt you, then sure. I mean, you've got more money than you know what to do with.
And
So
I would say that most celebrities don't even have more money than they know what to do with because they, like, look how many of them go bankrupt. They don't teach
right.
this stuff in schools, and when you get a lot of money, you think it's just going to be good tomorrow, and it isn't. You wait till when the market actually crashes, and you see our little $80,000 number in our portfolio, and you see what it's actually worth. You see a drop down there. It's not going to be like, oh, look how bad those guys are. It's like, no, we told you this is what happens. It's usually people are more optimistic than they should be. They're also more pessimistic than they need to be, and I'm trying to hit that low number because I want people to be realistic. Life is unpredictable, and it can change like that. So
Yeah.
get your faith straight first. I'm a Christian. Then get your finances straight. Relationships first after that. So like faith, relationships, then your finances. So get those things in
Let's
order.
we're in stock. Yeah, absolutely. First, shorting the stock on margin would count as borrowing to leverage. Yes. So you're using the bank's money, or if you're gambling at a casino, you're using the casino's money to make that play, but it's not money they're just giving you. You have to pay that back. So if you lose, then you could lose everything. So yeah,
Quickly,
it's using that debt to make a play to make more money. It's very risky. You
quickly.
could leverage your risk in certain aspects with like real estate and stuff, but you never know. I mean, people get rich on it, people go bankrupt on it. I'd rather keep it in safe stocks and let compounding interest grow. It's a lot safer. It's not completely risk free, but it is a lot safer.
I would contend that Brian is more responsible financially than I am. I tend to buy stuff. He doesn't. He's
I
safer
buy
than I
stuff.
am.
I do buy stuff, but
But
yeah,
if you wanna plan for things, plan for the worst. Also plan for the best, but expect the worst first because then you get pleasantly surprised more often than not. If you start thinking that everything's gonna be great tomorrow, you're gonna get kicked in the midget nads, the tenders, tendies, whatever. You're gonna get hurt. So
yeah.
don't get hurt. Don't do it that way. Anything else? You got anything else to add to this, Brian?
I guess the best way to hedge that is look at your bank account and it's got incoming and outflowing money. And as long as your incoming money is more than your outgoing money, then you're good.
I'm glad you didn't use the middle finger for that.
And there's yeah,
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a good stream. I didn't expect so many people to show up at the end. We will be streaming next week, Friday, sometime middle afternoon. I had year end. I've been doing taxes. I've been stuck in this office all week, probably 60 hours. So, yeah, I need to get out.
see,
I need to get
see,
out of here.
I tell you, people tend to show up around 5 when they get out of work.
They really
Maybe
do.
we should have a later stream at some point just to test that out.
Maybe it'll be next week. So
Do like a 6 o'clock stream and see who shows.
yeah, maybe we'll do it late next week. If you guys want that, put a comment in our channel what time works Eastern time, and we'll try to figure something out. It will be Friday. It's usually around lunchtime, but we'll figure it out. This gives you a chance to comment with us directly instead of after the fact. So
Yep.
appreciate everybody. Thank you, and I guess we'll see you next week.
As always, happy investing.
Happy investing.